and he gets up and flicks it on. Davidix manages to get his chest to it. Rutherford hassles him, forces an error. Franks does well in his own half to try and get away, but Wedgbury's tackled him and then is caught in possession. Now here's Franks breaking forwards over the halfway line. He slows up, which Wrexham might be glad of. Woods back to Featherstone. Featherstone in the centre of the pitch. Plays a slack the ball. Rutherford conscientiously tracking back, tidies up, goes back to his keeper. Fair play to Rutherford. He's always a model of industry, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. And now he's got a better level of player to play alongside. He's starting to show his true potential.
Long ball forwards, free header for Ledger, gives it straight to Akil Wright, who miscontrols it, shows good strength to Wright, one tackle, then lunges it in and pokes the ball to Reed. Reed driving forwards, excellent covering that though by Woods to tackle him. Back pass to Loach was fizzing at him off the wet surface. He gets it away, good touch by Wedgbury. Wrexham first spell of pressure. Roberts down the line, Rutherford closed down quickly, plays it off his man, it doesn't go out of play though. And it's fed inside to Woods, who clips it forwards. Well taken on the run by Oates, left hand side. He's hassled by Manny Smith. That's good work by Manny Smith. He's forced him back to the halfway line where Hawkins takes over. Hawkins got a runner over the top. Looks for him. It's headed away well by Roberts. That was how Frank scored the winning goal on Saturday. Running in behind the fullback. Getting onto a long ball. Here's Roberts knocking it long though. Frantic stuff there. It's headed away. Akil Wright wins a good tackle. It bounces through to the keeper. Well, it's raw conditions and it's raw football. This isn't like no one's getting any time on the ball at all.
Yeah, absolutely. But Wrexham have actually come out quite positive, which they don't always do in home games, and are looking to find that space and not lump it into the channels for change.
Preston hits it long. Manny Smith beaten to it in the air. Rutherford will race across and stop it going for a throw-in. Roberts saw the dreadful return pass to him. Throw-in to Hartlepool, 25 yards out, left-hand side. And a chance for Davidix, who's played plenty in midfield. But there's a left-back for Hartlepool to take the throw. Surprisingly, considering his history, he doesn't usually, when I've seen him, go forwards all that much. The throw-in's taken, miscontrol by Hawkins. Akil Wright hits a long ball trying to turn the defence, but Reed's got no chance of chasing after that. It's fed back to the keeper, Loach, who is a class act at this level. He's been an England under-21 keeper and was called up even to the full England squad. Only about 5 years ago. Loach knocks it long. Manny Smith, edge of his area, jumps, good header. Good stretch by Woods, finds Featherstone, and he feeds it forwards. Franks 30 yards out, back to goal. Lays it backwards, but Davidix ball forward isn't the best. Manny Smith though, poor contact, totally slices that behind for the corner. And Wrexham will have to deal with Hartlepool's height. They're a pretty big team. And here's a good first test for a reorganised defence, isn't it? Yeah, and this will be first test for Preston, whether he comes or leaves the ball for his defence. So it'll be interesting to see his decision making. The fact that Marcus Kelly seems to have had a pre-match fitness test also means that let's hope they got their marking correct. At the moment, Hartlepool, pretty remarkable setup. They've got 8 players standing, 6 on the goal line, and it hits the first man. And it's headed away by Roberts. Now can Bolden start something? He pokes it backwards. Roberts over the top. That's a tremendous ball. Reed now. He breaks down the left-hand side. He's got 3 players attacking the box. Reed, as Featherstone stands off him, carries it to the corner of the box. Might be tempted to cut in and have a shot here. He plays it to Wright, and Wright will have a shot. Hits it. It's a deflection and goes just wide. Good strike by Wright. And the deflection meant Loach was always struggling to get across. The shot just drops wide to the left post. Good positive play. Nice to see, though, for the first time this season, the ball lumped up front. Well, not first time this season. Bowden holds it, waits for his players, and then drops it off, rather than lose that possession and not let the midfield catch up. Here comes the corner, left-hand side, in swinger from Rutherford. Swings in the near post. Oh, Pearson gets there and pokes it back to Rutherford, who's got time to measure across. Chips it to the far post. Lots of big men up there, but it's headed away by Ledger. Volleyed back into the goal mouth, though, by Roberts. And it's Wright, good vision. Swings out to the right-hand side. Now then, Rutherford's taking on his man. Dances one way, then the other. Gets onto his right foot, then checks back out. Oh, I think it's come off him last if it goes out of play. No, it hasn't. Wrexham throw by the corner flag. Good little spell, this from Wrexham. Rutherford thinks about taking the throw in and decides not, which means poor Roberts has to trudge all the way from the halfway line to the corner flag. He was showing no sign that he wanted to come up for that, quite frankly, but he's made the long run. Now he's got a throw in. He waits for movements. Rutherford and Bowden are offering. Thrown to Bowden under pressure. He takes it well. Back to his man. And Roberts swings it into the 6-yard box. Volleyed away. Another throw in by the corner flag, right hand side. And Wrexham just turning the screw. I think a replacement ball might be needed. Oh no, I thought it had gone in the gap between stands there. But Roberts has the ball in his hands. Rutherford offers, Bowden offers, Rutherford receives, pops a good ball back to Roberts, who swings on a left-footed cross, not the best one. Ledger volleys it away. Oates is the furthest man forward, and he goes running at Pearson towards the halfway line. Tremendous tackle comes in from Wedgbury, and it's worked back to Preston, who again makes good contact on his kick. Reed in the air against Watson. The centre heads it up in the air rather. Rutherford's out-muscled by Franks. Bounces through to Manny Smith on the centre circle. The fans warn him that Oates is coming up behind him. Smith's in control of it though. He's got a runner over the top, and he tries to clip Reed in. That wasn't the worst ball, that. Reed pulled out of the run. That was worth chasing, I think. It's gone behind for a goal kick.
Worth chasing for me. When it was in the air, he still had a chance to make the move and just put the defender under pressure, but obviously he decided he checked inside rather than outside. But yeah, it wasn't the world's worst ball. It's that's the type of ball you want to see a centre-back playing and forcing.
Yeah. Well, it would have asked the question of the centre-back if Reed had chased on, but he didn't.
Floated up rather than, forced through.
Yeah. Goal kick. Preston to take. 10th minute here on Calon FM. Wrexham 0, Hartlepool 0 as it's flicked on by Hawkins. Roberts gets up well. Woodbury wins a good tackle. Bowden in midfield. Can't hang on to the ball though. It's poked forwards. Roberts. Midfield, can't hang on to the ball though. It's poked forwards. Roberts clearly clips Franks as he tries to turn. Free kick in midfield, left hand side. Hartlepool fans in the stands that we're in. Naturally, not that many have travelled down. Wrexham fans making lots of noise here. It's a pretty grim night here at the racecourse. It feels like good, competitive, scrappy fare out on the pitch. Free kick then. Wrexham hold the line on the edge of the area. It'll be swung in by Davidix, who takes a rugby player style run up, sweeps it after a few small steps into a nasty area, and it's headed way over the bar. It was a decent delivery that. Watson was the one who got his head to it. I think he may have hurt, I think it's Oates, the Hartlepool centre forward, who's holding his head. He's okay to get up. Funny little stuttering run up there by Davidix, but it was into a good area, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it just drops on that 6-yard line, but luckily for Wrexham, just over the top of the attackers and the defence itself. And although it would have been into that no man's land, the keeper didn't have to make a decision.
So goal kick, which Preston will take. Remember, you can use hashtag ASKWXM, Ask Wrexham, if you want to ask our opinions of the game. As the ball's played forwards by Hartlepool, Pearson hits it long, and Reed wins a good header, but it will bounce harmlessly through in the end to the keeper, Loach. Loach wanders up to the edge of his area on his right foot. Oates is the target man. He's driven through the middle towards him. Manny Smith jumps, and actually the keeper right gets up ahead of both of them, heads it on. So does Leo Smith at the halfway line. That's a neat idea by Magnay, feeding it down the line, but Carrington intercepts, and he tries to play a ball for Reed to chase onto, but that is overhit, and it skips harmlessly through to the goalkeeper, Loach. Loach jumps up to the edge of the area. Great noise here tonight from the Wrexham fans. As Loach hits it right-footed off the ground. Manny Smith against Oates in the air once more. Oates gets up early. Manny Smith heads it over the top. That's a poor defensive header. Now Reed, 2-on-2 break. Oh, it's an awkward bounce for him, though. And he tried a little unorthodox header to Bowden, didn't find him, and Hartlepool were able to clear. I think he maybe ought to have brought that down instead, as Rodney tries to play for a foul, and the referee rightly doesn't give that. He's now stopped play for treatment for him. It looks a very innocuous challenge to me, and I'm not too sure he's too badly hurt either. I think that's a premature stopping play.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Wrexham are about to break, and he's taken on to slow the game up. But yeah, Reed unlucky there. Probably wrong decision. I agree. He should have probably brought it down and had room to run. Yeah. But nice to see him trying to find his strike by.
Yeah, that's true. After certainly last game at Bromley, where he at least one occasion auto passed to Bowden and didn't, and he had a couple of chances on goal which he might have passed instead on Saturday. Anyway, Rodney is up. I can't understand why the referee was so eager to get the physio on, because it was minimal contact and certainly wasn't to the head, and it seemed strange the referee was so keen to stop play. The ball was given back to Wrexham.
But Reid was unlucky in that 2-2 break a moment ago, because when the ball was played forwards, like I said, I think he made the wrong choice. It was bouncing awkwardly for him, but he had time to bring it down and run at his man. Instead, he tried to head it on. As Preston carries the ball out of his penalty area and reacts very slowly when Oates charges him down, and he has to put it out of play for a throw-in on the halfway line. Oates just came running at him on the halfway line. Preston didn't release till it was, well, rather late. It's put out of play. Throw-in taken. Manny Smith and the ball forwards wins another header against Oates. Bowden hooks it on. That was a tight angle. He was never quite going to find Leo Smith. Akil Wright snaps him with a tackle, and then Pearson puts it over the top. Reid's jumping. Can't win that. But Leo Smith takes a loose ball in a crowded midfield and lifts a lovely ball down the left-hand side for Bowden to run onto. He's got 3 men in a box to aim at. He holds it up by the corner flag. Magnay gets tight to him. That's a good tackle by Magnay. And the decision goes Wrexham's way. Throw in by the corner flag. Left-hand side. Taken quickly by Carrington. Rice has got time to swing across and takes on his man instead. Onto his left foot, burst in the box. But good tackle by Rodney, who, as I said before, is very diligent when it comes to working when his side haven't got the ball. He drops back a long way and he thrashes it out for a throw on the halfway line. Wrexham having the better of it, though, you'd say, I think, wouldn't you? Yeah,
I do. I like Leo Smith's touch there. He doesn't do a great deal all the time. He doesn't always get involved in the game, but when he does, he's quite happy to have that touch and look for his man.
Wrexham knock it long. Bowden wins a good header, but clever work by Ledger, who knew where his keeper was and flicked it onto him. On Saturday, Dagenham were trying to put in behind Ledger, who's on loan from Sunderland, a lot. You know, whether they detected he was slow in the turn. So it'll be interesting if Reid can get on to him as the ball's played long and Manny Smith is penalised for a challenge from behind as he wins a header against Oates. You can hear the contact of body against body because he slapped into it. Free kick in the centre circle. Thus far, Oates has got very, very little out of Manny Smith when Hartlepool knocked it straight through the middle. Like I say, Oates is their third choice centre forward. So Jake Cassidy was injured. And then their second choice centre forward was also injured on Saturday. Free kick in midfield. Davidix will take it. It's very narrow. Davidix steps up, dinks it towards the penalty spot. Pearson jumps, wins a good header. It's picked up on the left-hand side, fed backwards to Davidix, who winds up and totally mishits that. Preston underneath it, takes it under the bar for a horrible moment as it swirled in the wind. I thought he might have a nightmare as it swirled down and he misjudged it, but he took it cleanly.
When he first hit it, it looks like it was sailing over the top.
Yeah. The wind really took that, didn't it, and swung it back in. So, still 0-0 here on Calon FM as Bowden miscontrols a late tackle in midfield by Leo Smith. And Rodney stays down. I think he ought to go to his pocket for that, I think, really. But that's it.
I thought that was a bit... Yeah, I know it's late. Smith's basically trying to recover the ball that's laid up to him from Bowden. So he turns and stretches for it. I don't think this is a player coming, so I don't think it's malicious. But you're right, it's... Yeah. If it's a yellow card, you wouldn't be aggrieved by the one.
Yeah. Looks like it's a very stern talking to from the referee rather than a yellow. Rodney angered the fans by suddenly jumping up to his feet, having stayed down initially. The fans felt he was buying Leo Smith a yellow card. He didn't get yelled, I think, did he?
No, I don't think so.
He's a little lucky. Rodney, having jumped to his feet, then limped halfway along the pitch to get into position, and it's just a free kick in midfield. Magnay drives it long over the top. Pearson jumps, is beaten to it in the air, helped away by Smith. Good header. Leo Smith now hooks it over his shoulder into midfield where Magnay attacks it and tries to drive forwards. Hawkins takes over, chips it down the flank. Carrington is there. He wanted to run out of play, but it doesn't, and he has to scoop it out for a throw-in, but he just knocked it off a Hartlepool man and rather fortuitously got himself a throw-in. Thus far, they've not been able to get at Carrington at all, have they?
No, I think Carrington was looking to play. He's got a back pass then at one point, but I think decided against it because of the distance he had to pass.
Throw-in taken. And it's head tennis in the middle of the pitch until Akil Wright plants his head on it and puts it clear. Still a ball, actually, is still head tennis as it bounces around. Wedgbury then breaks the pattern by slicing up in the air. Smith wins a header. And the scrappy nature of the game continues. Smith, good strength, wins the ball back. Carrington forwards. Rodney tackles it from behind. Looked like a foul, but the referee plays on. And Wrexham break down the right-hand side. Here's Roberts. Nice ball to Rutherford. Roberts has gone beyond him. Rutherford cuts inside instead. Hartlepool got bodies behind the ball now. Wedgbury chips it down the right flank. Reed on the chase. Does well to get there, but he can't take it in his stride. It comes off his toe for a throw in to Hartlepool, 10 yards out left-hand side. Davidix will go across to take it. He's got Oates offering himself as an aerial target down the line, as Davidix eventually steps up, throws it towards the centre forwards, beaten to it in the air by Roberts. Davidix wanted to roll out play for a throw, and it does by the corner flag. Wrexham penning Hartlepool in. 19th minute here on Calon FM. Wrexham 0, Hartlepool United 0. A real scrap in the rain, as Davidix again throws down the flank and Roberts attacks it, can't win it. Manny Smith feeds it in the box, there's no one there. Magnay heads it clear. It's brought down neatly by Hawkins, who clips over to Rodney using his pace to burst beyond Carrington. Not quite. Carrington does really well to get there. I thought he was going to be out-sprinted. Preston hits it long and early. Headed away into midfield. Hawkins touches it up in the air. Rice does well to bring it down, but there's not much space in there. It goes back to his keeper. There's just so little space, isn't there, James, all over the pitch?
Yeah, unlike Macclesfield, Featherston's not dropping off, and he's just they're just crowding that midfield, and it's resulting in head tennis.
Bowden can't bring down a long ball, so it's cleared. Wedgbury helps it on. He nearly heads it into the path for Smith, but it's picked up by Featherston, who squares it onto the left-hand side. Long ball by Davidix is inaccurate. Having said that, Franks will still chase and put Roberts under pressure, but Roberts is able to run out of play for a throw-in by the corner flag. And now it's Hartlepool's chance maybe to box Wrexham in. Remember, you can use hashtag ASKWXM if you want to ask us anything. Throw-in taken, Reed helps it on. Akil Wright scrapping in the middle of the pitch. And the throw-in in the end goes his... Oh, it's gone against him. Dean Keats livid. Two players went for the header.
I think the referee was waiting for the assistant to give him the nod, so the referee was very much the opinion it came off the high goal at last.
Throw it to Davidix will take then, 35 yards out from the Wrexham goal, left-hand side. It's flicked cleanly by Hawkins on to Featherston, who switches to the right-hand side, and play just opens up for a rare moment in this very congested game. Rodney has it, and Wrexham have their shape back now. It's Woods to Rodney, drills in a cross into the box, which Manny Smith doesn't deal with. It skips off his shin and spins across to the left flank, which will be a throw-in. Level the edge of the area. Davidix says, I'm having this, and warns Franks off. Now he looks at movements. Isn't set up for a long throw. Throws it to Oates, who manages to turn well, but can't get through Wedgbury. Good tackle by Wedgbury, and then he's tripped over by Oates on the edge of the area. Free kick to Wrexham. What do you do in a game like this when there's not much space? How do you open her up?
Yeah, it's difficult. I mean, this almost is the game for Wrexham's previous tactics of playing it down the channels, because the midfield is that congested, and it's just resulting in head tennis. Akil Wright tried it a couple of times just to bring it down and lay it off, but yeah, I think it's a game to get the fullbacks in, and Carrington we know is not involved forward, but Roberts has looked promising, and Rutherford, you know, him could connect well.
This long ball forwards. Bowden wins a good header. Reed's chasing that and forces Ledger to put it out for a throw into Wrexham by the corner flag, right-hand side. Still 0-0, nearly halfway through the first half here on Calon FM. Bowden, little fits and starts, has done a decent job. Flicking balls on, holding them up. Roberts will take the throw in, and he looks like he wants to take a run up and maybe put some distance on it, although Rutherford offs himself short and Roberts decides against that. Still hasn't released the ball though. Wrexham fans are getting a bit impatient. Thrown to Wedgbury, who pops it back to Roberts. Level the edge of the box, he pulls it back. Wedgbury mishits his cross. Easy header clear for Woods. Drops to Pearson, who tries to ping an early ball to Bowden. Overhits it, goes behind for the goal kick. It wasn't a bad idea, that though. You could see Reed just peeling away down the left channel. Just wanted to try and drill it in for him. Just overdid it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just not quite getting the tempo on it. Not as much aerial balls from Wrexham tonight. Obviously, going the other way, the wind is affecting them.
Yeah.
Be interesting in the second half. You might be able to play those longer balls, and they hold up and give the players a chance to catch them.
It is, I reiterate, a pretty grim night here. You had gale warnings, it's been windy, it's raining, it's cold. Manny Smith wins a terrific header from the goal kick, and it's headed up in the air by the Hartlepool defence, which allows Reed to bring it down. Lovely piece of skill to bring it down, and he runs into trouble then and is dispossessed. Ball's knocked over the top Wrexham's defence, and Pearson reads it well as Smith blocks off Oates. put out for a throw to Hartlepool, about 25 yards out in their own goal, left-hand side. Oates complains about being blocked off. Gemma Hogan. Anyone else just think about Only Fools and Horses every time I mention Rodney?
Or Dave.
It's this time next year, eh? This time next year. Throwing taken to the halfway line. Roberts is beaten to it. Wedgbury does well, though, to make a challenge against Rodders. It drops to Wedgbury, and he squares it to Carrington. Carrington, on his left foot, ships a cute little ball to Smith, who equally cutely chests it down. Right back to Pearson again. It's congested in there. Hartlepool got good shape, and Wrexham finding it difficult to find space. Manny Smith carries it to the halfway line. Wedgbury has to go back again. Real diligence in the Hartlepool side when they haven't got the ball. And then Pearson has to go back to his keeper. Preston hits it right-footed. Reed will jump with Ledger. Ledger wins it. Roberts retrieves it deep in his own half and goes long, looking down the flank for Rutherford. That's a lovely ball. Now, did Deverdix handle that? The ball's gone out and there's throw-ins given to Hartlepool. Well, I think Deverdix tried to handle it. Maybe he failed to make contact, but...
Yeah, it was a bit fortuitous that he missed it, because otherwise Rutherford would be in, but he's always going to expect him to win that header.
Well, Deverdix is a midfielder who's been used at left-back, and looking at the way he's shaped up then, makes me feel hopeful if Rutherford can get a run at him, that maybe he's not a natural fullback. As Wrexham win the ball back from the throw-in, he's Bowden, good strength in the centre circle. Works it backwards, has to go all the way back to Manny Smith in the end up, because again, Hartlepool are working hard. It's played back to Preston. Preston hits it right-footed, driven through the middle, and it clears comfortably by Woods. Manny Smith slightly tentative. He's penalised. Free kick about 35 yards out. I'm not sure if that was for use of the hand or a high foot. Doesn't seem to be too much in it from my view.
Referee sort of indicated with his arm, but he got away with one a bit there. Manny Smith is almost a bit too late into the challenge. And
he was unusually tentative going into it, wasn't he? Usually he's very committed, Smith. Must have struck his arm maybe. So free kick.
I notice Hartlepool, when every time they get a free kick in these positions, they're really enclosing their attacking options, just put it into that bubble.
Make it difficult to pick up your man and easier to block. Pearson's got the wrong side of his man, but it's a dreadful delivery. It was driven straight onto the chest of Wedgbury, and he drives over the top looking for the pace of Reed, who's being blocked off the ball, and that allows Deverdix to get there first. Deverdix under pressure, plays the back pass. He's closed down Loach, but he gets it cleared into midfield, where Wright heads it forward. Shame he couldn't find Rutherford there, because Hartlepool was stretched, and Hartlepool knock it over the top, and Smith blocks off Oates. Pearson, therefore, has got time to play the back pass. Preston takes his time, and again, his clearance is quite close to Oates. It's skipped beyond, though, towards Bowden. Good cover by Deverdix, who tidies it up to Featherstone. And he drills it away. And that leaves Manny Smith a lot of time, because Oates is going back for an offside position. Oates now is chasing the centre-backs, while Pearson complains that he shouldn't be allowed to do that. Pearson in the end has to go long, looking for Bowden, who wins another good flick, and Reed is one-on-one with the keeper. Oh, the offside flag goes up. Ooh, I want to see that again. To be fair, the ball skipping off the wet turf would have gone through to the keeper just about.
Yeah.
But that was...
That's what you want to see. Great header by Bowden, great anticipation on the last shoulder from Reed. And like you said, it was just probably the wet surface didn't help it. Loach was always favourite for that, but yeah, close ball. We'll want to watch again, I think, on the offside. But as you said, I think Loach had it covered.
Yeah, Roach did get there first, and because Reed kept chasing, he didn't know the flag was up. The flag went up late. I got no problem with the late flag, but I got problems with inaccurate ones, and that looked dicey as Roberts wins an excellent header from the keeper's kick. Bowden holding it up again, just can't quite take it in his stride, and he's dispossessed by Woods, who feeds it forward 30 yards out. Oates works to the left-hand side, crossing opportunity here for Franks on his left foot, drills it in there. Good clearance by Pearson. Wedgbury miscontrols on the edge there, but does well to poke it away into the Hartlepool half. And it's fed back to the keeper. It's 0-0 here on Calon FM. 27 minutes gone. Long ball over the top. Attacked and flicked on well by Oates, and Rodney's chasing onto this, into the box. Manny Smith holds him up. Rodney keeps going. Manny Smith does really well to muscle him off that. Wrexham were caught out there and could have been very costly. Now they knock it wrong. Reed can't quite win the header. Drops on the right-hand side, where Hartlepool will start to build again. Wrexham, though, push them back into their own half. Driven forwards. accurately by Watson. Oates over to Rodney on the right-hand side. Like I said moments ago, and they have capitalised on that moment of hesitation in the Wrexham box. Franks popping up on the right-hand side. Feeds one down the flank, looking for Magnay on the overlap. Good slide-in tackle by Carrington. Throw to Hartlepool, 10 yards out, right-hand side. It'll be Magnay to take. He looks for movement in the box. Still Lorraine hammers down. It's thrown short and given back to Magnay, who takes on Carrington and wins a corner. Right, the last corner they had on the other side, it was really a very unusual setup. They put about 6 men on the goal line, didn't they, to crowd Preston?
I think, yeah, I mean, you look at his manager, and especially the way he started, he doesn't look as confident as he ought to, perhaps, when at the back. So maybe put that pressure on him. It makes sense to try and test him at least.
Well, he's not played that much football at this level lately, you know, so it's a different setup this time.
I'd expect, I mean, if it was the other way around, I'd expect us to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there's nothing wrong with it, is there? Yeah. There's a good crowd around him with 2 strikers and defenders. It's floated towards the 6-yard box, 3 headers, put wide. Oh, that's a chance for Oates. I think maybe just arrived a little bit early. He still got his head in his hands. 6 yards out, he arrived a little bit early on it, tried to guide it downwards and just put it wide at the left post, but that was a real opportunity, wasn't it?
Yeah, he did everything right there by, like you said, heading it into the ground, but just too early and not quite accurate enough, luckily for Wrexham.
So, it's a goal kick. Oates there should have done a lot better. Certainly should have worked the keeper. Planting a free header wide from 6 yards out, and Wrexham fortunate, and just a slightly awkward silence in the crowd who realised how fortunate we were. Preston knocks it through the middle, Bowden again flicks it on. Oh no, did that hit Ledger's hand? Wrexham is shouting for it. Ledger lunges in and hacks the ball clear. He misjudged it as it skipped off the wet pitch. And it hit him, but where did it hit him? Anyway, the ref didn't give it. And Hartlepool are building away from the back. Magnay plays it down the line. Cute little ball laid off by Oates to Rodney. And now Hartlepool recirculate it to the left-hand side. Deverdix loses his footing, but still manages to find his teammate. Unluckily for him, that teammate, Hawkins, then completely miscontrols. Throw to Wrexham. Franks, the left midfielder, has started wandering all over the place. He's just coming back now. He was over on the right flank. He was in the build-up for that corner as well, and he's just trying to lose his man and find space where he can. Throw and take, and Reed flicks it on, and then can't pick up the loose ball when he chases it. It's Deverdix turning Wrexham's defence. Manny Smith, rock solid, good tackle, slides in, puts it out of play, throwing 30 yards out left-hand side, which Deverdix will take. Remember, you can ask us any questions on hashtag AskWrexham. Ironically, that Gemma mentioned that I'm mentioning Rodney rather than the name of the Hartlepool left-back. I'd say Akil Wright breaks forwards and is tackled really well. Oh, but it's given away by Hartlepool in the midfield, and Reed, he's played the slack pass too. Carrington does brilliantly, shoulder to shoulder with a muscular Rodney to win the ball back. It's dinked over the top of Hartlepool's defence. Watson heads it into midfield. Featherstone turns it over the top as Wrexham pushed up a little bit, but Pearson volleys it very confident. Rutherford clips it on, looking for the run of Bowden, but it'll bounce through to the keeper again. It's so crowded and tight in midfield, and players playing hurried little passes, and the pattern has been balls skipping through to the keeper when players trying to push the ball through the middle.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, the wet surface is going to aid that and make it difficult to hold the ball up.
Need to get as far down the flank as possible to feed balls in the box, I think, and both sides are struggling to do that as Pearson clears. The truth of the matter is both sides are doing well and they haven't got the ball at the moment. As Bowden wins another great header, and Reed is just beaten to it by the last defender, Ledger. In Magnay, does nicely, just skips past Leo Smith and tries to lift a diagonal, looking for Franks. Roberts battling with him. Franks has picked the ball up and feeds it to Deverdix on the overlap. Wrexham got bodies quickly behind the ball though. Franks switches. That's an ambitious ball. Has he got it right? Yes, he has. He's found Magnay, level the edge of the area. Chance to cross. Rodney is unmarked in support. He's fed in. Rodney now onto his right foot. Gives a little give and go to the edge of the area, but instead it's turned by Hawkins and fed to the edge of the box. Franks, good footwork, feeds it back. Lots of bodies in the box for Wrexham. It's swung in there. Pearson volleys it clear. And it's headed back in towards the edge by Featherstone, where Leo Smith gets it away. Hartlepool have it again on the halfway line, but Deverdix in the pressure from Bowden is going to have to go back to his keeper. Reed is chasing Loach down. Loach clears to the halfway line. Rutherford jumps. Beaten to it, but it falls to Akil Wright in space in the centre circle. Leo Smith drops off, receives it on the left-hand side. He's forced back. I think I'd like to see Leo Smith go wide then and drag players away from right and give him a more attacking option as a pass.
To run into.
As it is, here's Rutherford. Nice going goal, but Bolden's return pass is overhead. Unlucky, but again, indicative of how this game has been. Not much space.
Yeah,
players having to get the weight perfect in the passes.
Yeah, it's going to have to be a one-touch game to get that space. But I think we've got the players to do it on the pitch. It's just not, Bowden's looked a better target man than we've had in a few games. Reed, for me, obviously in front of goal, he's a threat, but when he brings the ball down, he's not really the complete player with his passing.
Throw-in's taken. Pearson clears. Straight back to the throw at Devidics. Feeds into midfield. Wrexham press in numbers and force an early ball forwards, but it's brought down well by Franks, who again is drifting narrow. Big switch played by Featherstone towards Magnay once more. He's starting to become the extra man on the right-hand side as Leo Smith tries to tuck in to support his midfielders. Played down line to Rodney, works it back to the right-back Magnay. Back into midfield. Woods now running from deep. Wrexham midfield looks rather deep. Woods pokes it into the box. Carrington thrashes it clear. But Hartlepool have had a decent little spell here where Wrexham's midfield has started to drop off a little deep to protect the back four. And clearances are going straight back to the away team. The ball hangs in the air in midfield. Rice, was he fouled? Referee says not, as Wright stays down holding his head. Pearson under pressure, a nasty bouncing ball, finds Carrington. Rice is still down with his head injury. Ref's not interested. It's clears. Ledger heads it away. Wedgbury bursts forwards. He might try a shot here. Hits it from distance well over the bar. Rice is still down. And now the ref sent on the physio, and I'm struggling to understand the referee's logic, considering how quickly he brought the Hartlepool physio on for Rodney earlier.
Yeah, it's a strange one, that. I can't work out why he's delayed the game so much. It wasn't at the time when it first happened. Wrexham were under pressure, so it's not as if he's waiting and giving us an advantage and then gone on.
I mean, my first thought was it looked like a foul. Wright looked to be underneath it and then was barged into from behind. Maybe it's not a injury, maybe it's the way he landed. But he's still down. He's starting to get up now. Wright started quite brightly, I think, in the middle of the pitch, and
he's got the most likely of, he's looked to get the ball down and play the ball where he can. Again, as you said, it's crowded in there, so he's been forced back a lot of the time. But when he's had the option to break forward, he has tried to.
Well, we can't afford an injury in the middle of the pitch because our bench hasn't got any midfielders on it, so we need another big rearrangement.
And I suppose the only options would be either 4-3-3 or you bring Dougie Farm on for his debut and put Carrington in midfield.
Yeah. Well, Wright's up, and he seems to be jogging across in a fairly sprightly manner, so I think he will be straight back on, but let's hope he's okay in the long term. As the ball is spotted up for a goal kick by Scott Loach. 10 minutes to half time here on Calon FM. It's Wrexham 0, Hartlepool 0. Manny Smith heads it away. Wrexham are complaining why hasn't Wright been allowed on. He is now. Leo Smith hooks it over the top, headed away by Watson. Wedgbury in midfield, wins a header despite the presence of Rodney. Leo Smith nods it down but can't find a striker, and it's hacked out of play for a throw on the halfway line, which Carrington will take as the fans again look to urge the team on. Thrown short and given back to Carrington. Wright now feeds it across to Manny Smith. Smith in the halfway line, threads to the right-hand side. Roberts now. Rutherford's gone narrow. Roberts looks at the line, sees that Rutherford isn't there. Finds Wedgbury, who feeds an ambitious ball towards Rutherford. He flicks it on. Is that a corner or a goal kick? It's a corner. But Rutherford did well to make something of that.
Yeah.
Flicking it on.
Rutherford was unlucky as well because he came inside to give the space to Roberts as well. He made that run to allow the fullback to get... Because as Manny Smith drove forward, there wasn't nothing on.
Corner, right-hand side. Rutherford will take an away swinger. Or is it Leo Smith, I beg your pardon? He bounces it a few times to send a signal to the players in there. Hartlepool got everyone back defending. It's swung to the far post and headed towards goal. Easy save for the keeper though. It's floated in to the far post, 6 yards out. Pearson got up, hit the target, but he didn't really put enough power or direction on it to trouble the goalkeeper.
No, he sort of just had to loop at it and just push it onto target, really. But again, good targets in the box with Manny and Pearson there.
As the ball's flicked on by Smith, who's caught surely there by Woods. Nothing given. Wrexham complaining. Smith is down inches. The ball's gone after a throw to Hartlepool, left at the edge of the area, right-hand side. I don't know. There's a few things here that I feel the ref has missed.
Yeah, his peripheral vision isn't great, is it? He's very much focused on what's happening with the ball, which I suppose you want to a certain extent, but you do miss the odd little, you're not concentrating on those sort of areas.
If you're going to foul the guy, make it late with this ref, I think, because that was quite a late challenge.
Yeah.
Smith's up anyway, didn't need treatment. Throw it to Hartlepool, level the edge of the box. Right-hand side, Magnay with the ball in his hands, looking for options, throws to the corner flag for Rodney, and Carrington does well, just ushers him out of play. Goal kick to Wrexham. And a bit like last Saturday, it's a bit of a grim scrap, although it feels like a higher quality game than Saturday. And
I was about to say, I agree. I've enjoyed this 0-0 so far, much more than I did the other one.
It just feels a bit like a battle between two well-organised teams, doesn't it? Both sides denying space to the others. Played long, Wedgbury flicks it on. Magnay volleys it clear, Wedgbury miscontrols that. Rodney, though, gives it straight back to him. Wedgbury shows good strength, feeds it to Rutherford, who's come narrow, back to Smith. Wrexham work this nicely, as Smith works it over the top for Kevin Roberts. He gets the pass wrong, but that was a 9-acre manoeuvre there, wasn't it? As you said before, Rutherford comes in, it's played back, Roberts has made the run, and they're trying to send him away. Yeah,
it's good work again by Rutherford, and unlucky for Manny in the execution of that, because it was the right pass, just not quite on target.
We actually, in pretty much the same minute of the first half of Torquay, worked exactly the same little triangle. It's something we'd look to try and do, just to find a little bit of space. As it is, it's a throw-in anyway to Hartlepool. Davidix throws towards the halfway and flicked on well by Oates. Good foot in by Wedgbury. And a throw-in to Hartlepool about 30 yards out from his goal right-hand side. Davidix waits for the ball to be retrieved from the crowd. 40th minute here on Calon FM. It's Wrexham 0, Hartlepool United 0. Davidix is taking his time over this. The fans feel he's been stealing some yards. He throws it down the flank. Oates heads it in the wrong direction, and Davidix slices it up in the air. Rutherford attacks it, heads on looking for Reed. It's headed away though. Throw into Wrexham. Just inside the Hartlepool half, and Roberts quickly takes it to Reed. Reed brings it down well, turns into trouble. The ball's cleared to the halfway line. Manny Smith backed into, does really well to sneak a foot round the side and find Wedgbury, who's outnumbered. He lunges across and really blatantly shoves his man. And I can't work out why the crowd are complaining about that, because Wedgbury was daft then. I thought he
carried on running for 2 or 3 foot and then into the player.
Yeah, that was a blatant foul. Free kick in midfield.
That's the type of foul that Jennings would have got a yellow card for, though.
Yes, fair point. So, Davidix, the free kick in midfield. Wrexham are holding a line just outside the box. It's drilled up. That's a poor delivery. Leo Smith, though, heads it rather tamely straight to Magnay, the right back, and plays it down the line. Rodney holding it up, poor touch. Leo Smith as well to take it from him. Good feet to break down the line. Good tackle by Magnay to stop him. Throw in to Wrexham, 10 yards short of the halfway line, left-hand side. Davidix's delivery from set pieces is a weird combination of the excellent and the horrific. It's all or nothing with him. He's ripped a couple of beauties in and put some real stinkers in as well.
Yeah, it's strange. I think he's trying to launch it up there and then use the wind to curl it, sort of just drop it or drop the ball.
And it's a real hit and miss approach as Manny Smith feeds it forward. That's inaccurate as well. Featherstone hits the referee. It spins luckily though for Hartlepool and is held up by Hawkins, who spreads cleverly to the flank. Well read by Carrington, who stretches and clears it. Leo Smith goes in, can't win the tackle though, and Magnay pokes the ball down the flank to Franks and goes on the overlap. Franks uses him as a decoy, sets himself, swings across to the far post, but there's no one there. Franks, the left-sided player, stitches to the right-hand side and then sticks a far post cross in, and the trouble is, it's Franks who maybe should be there attacking it.
Yeah, absolutely. Luckily for Wrexham, there's no man over us after Roberts has to run after it, but yeah, it's Wrexham's second ball retention is just not there at the moment. We're winning, like I said, Leo Smith's tame little header there and just not ready for the second touch.
Yeah, there's been a bit of slack passing, which is understandable, the amount of time, lack of time, should I say, players are getting on the ball, but still, we need to maybe tighten that up a bit. It's through and take by Roberts, lovely flick by Reed, now then Bowden, right side of the box. He's only got one man in the middle, drives in the cross, it's volleyed away, poked back into the danger area by Rutherford, only partially clears again. Rice picks up edge of the box, Bowden's there, finds Roberts, chance to cross, lots of bodies to aim at. His cross is deflected away though, and then smashed to the halfway line. Desperate defending by Hartlepool, but successful as Rodney runs into Pearson. Great strength by the Wrexham skipper, holds him off, then Rodney tackles him. Pearson takes a bit of a dive, saying he was fouled. Don't think he was. And the ball's cleared by Preston. Smith in the air. He struggled physically to cope, Leo Smith, a bit. As Carrington's caught in possession by Rodney, who burst on the right-hand side. Wedgbury's come across on Carrington. Really good recovery tackle. Managed to get across, get a foot in, and take the ball out with him. Smith gives it back to him, and Carrington, his left foot, feeds it forwards, looking for Bowden. Good work by Walker to get there and get clear. Right back over the top, but it spins through all the way to Loach. But it was desperate defending on the cover twice by Magnay, wasn't that, in that scramble? And Hartlepool a touch fortunate to survive it.
Yeah, good play, getting the flick on again and releasing Bowden. Possibly wanted it the other way around with Reed attacking with pace, but Bowden did well to try and pick Leo Smith out the far post.
He's not been all that involved, Bowden. None of the strikers have really, but he's
intelligent with it when he gets the ball.
He's won some good flicks, some good touches. He's done well, hasn't he? Although he's only sporadically involved. As he has Franks now dropping off into midfield and turning cleverly to beat Wedgbury. The heel right comes across to close him down, though. It spreads to the right-hand side. Magnay looking for Rodney, backing into Carrington. It's fed back to Magnay. You feel that Rodney is just thinking, yeah, this battle with an out-of-position Carrington might be something I could win, as it's fed in behind Carrington, and Rodney slides in with a good tackle as Carrington trying to run it behind for a goal kick. Pearson picks up the loose ball, knocks it halfway, and Bowden again wins the header, but Reed didn't really help him much there. He stood off him, asking for it to be nodded down, and Bowden couldn't do that. He flicked it around the corner quite cleverly, but
yeah, it's probably the sort of the juniorness of the partnership. Really, Reed's not really playing off Bowden. Bowden's winning a lot for him and should be making those runs. But I suppose if they're not used to playing with each other, they're not going to expect it.
That's very true. This is throw-in's taken in midfield. Featherstone picks it up. Just over a minute to half-time here on Calon FM. A sloppy back pass by Davidic, so get back to the keeper. Reed's chasing it eagerly, but it's cleared comfortably by Loach. The ball hangs in the air on the halfway line. Wright is beaten to us in the air. Carrington then seems to be pulled back by Rodney. You can hear the crowd think of the referee agreeing. Free kick in midfield. Rodney's been today's pantomime villain. And yeah, he tugged away at Carrington there. Free kick on the halfway line. Carrington will take it. Wrexham will send the centre-backs up to the edge of the area. The fourth official is programming his board. Rain lashing into the Hartlepool defence's eyes. Carrington sweeps it in towards the edge of the box. Manny Smith gets in front of his man. Is he pushed in the back? It bounces behind for a corner. Smith thought he was shoved just outside the box, although his protest is not too strong, is it really?
Yeah, I mean, from here it looks a blatant push and a free kick in a nice position, but at least we got the corner, and maybe that's what the referee's thinking. Maybe it's a dubious one, and they still got the advantage.
Pearson is persisting with his complaints. There'll be one added minute. Corner, right-hand side. Smith swings it beyond the far post. Manny Smith backpedals, heads it down in the goal map. Volley clear by Hawkins. Lots of time for Carrington on the halfway line. He's closed down quickly as he miscontrols it, though. And that was slightly dicey as he tried to spread it out. It was nearly intercepted. It's gone for a throw to Wrexham again because Hawkins slipped as he tried to intercept and put it out of play. Throw taken quickly to Roberts, right-hand side. But he's closed down cleverly, sharply by Hawkins. Ball around the corner by Roberts is inaccurate. And it's cleared by Davidics. Pearson with time in the centre circle. Looks up. Rutherford is screaming for it, but Pearson can't play that switch into that direction. And he plays a poor ball forwards. And now he's going to have to tidy it up himself as it's played in behind the Wrexham defence. Pearson is there first. Turns away from Oates, who slips on the wet turf. Pearson clears into midfield. Leo Smith under pressure puts it out of play. We've nearly had the added minutes. Wrexham a little bit ropey in their own half there. I think probably we'll be glad to see this little passage of play end when the throw-in's taken. Throw taken short by Magnay, and there it is. Half-time. The half-time score is Wrexham 0, Hartlepool United 0.
I'm Paul Rutherford. Follow Wrexham AFC on Calon FM.
So 0-0 at half-time, and well, like you said in the commentary, a different type of 0-0 from a Torquay match, really, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the only way to describe it. Different type. It's a scrappy midfield battle, really. That no one's really dominated yet, but it's two teams, like you said, set up very well, which is no surprise, really. You've got the Carl Darlington Harrison influence. They're both set up to play a certain system, which is quite similar, which again isn't a great surprise, even though we're in different formations. And it's sort of nullifying that midfield battle. Wrexham have got the option of trying to get it wide, and that's where they're going to get their joy. The same as Rodney's getting a bit of joy on the flank for Hartlepool, but Carrington's done well and coped with him. He's been beaten a couple of times for strength and pace, but he's recovered well, so it's not really been a threat. A couple of nervous moments for our new keeper, but Preston hasn't done anything wrong particularly. He's just waited a little bit perhaps on delaying his kicks, but generally I think Wrexham will be satisfied if we can get a few more balls to feet to the front pair.
They're sort of like massively influencing the game, but with it blowing more in Wrexham faces in the second half, I wonder if that'll aid us in being able to give service to the strikers, push it behind the defenders, but it doesn't skip straight through.
I mean, possibly. Obviously, we're up in the stands, we can't really see, but I'm just looking down the way the rain is coming down in the top end of the pitch. It sort of comes over the top of the Kop and then swirls backwards and to the sort of the left as we're looking, in a sort of like a cyclone type way. So the ball is there, and you're punching it up long. It seems to naturally drop, and that will, a couple of those balls that have skipped through in the first half, if those had been played the opposite way, I think we might have had a bit of joy, or certainly put the defence under pressure and ask some questions. So it could be a factor.
That was that odd moment, wasn't it? That sort of put the thought in my head. That Bevedic's free kick, was it? Or I can't remember what it was. It was an anomaly, basically. But he had the ball about 40 yards out and launched it. Looked like a hideously overhead delivery into the Kop. And then suddenly it was hanging and dropping under the bar, and it was a slightly nerve-wracking ball for a debutant keeper to take, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. You hit it, you're almost looking to see why he's going to get that. So you sort of take your eyes off it to look at something else, because you think it's sailing over the Kop and they'll be asking for a spare. And then suddenly it's landing on the 6-yard box. And it's almost gone all... Yeah, it's just sort of hit the wall and dropped.
Yeah.
So, it's... interesting decision really from Hartlepool, I suppose, because they were the ones that switched around in the first half. So, obviously that was whether they thought that was an advantage in the first half, or there's more an advantage to play it against it in the second half. I don't know, but it's hopefully the weather's not a factor. But if it gives us any benefit, I'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that take by Preston under his bar, it was like he did it fine. He took it cleanly, and well done to him. But just for a moment, it looked like he'd just got underneath it a bit too much, and he did sort of take it like baseball style, hands turned over his head, rather than the orthodox goalkeeping of getting up just in front of you with your hands in a W.
And also the Hartlepool players hadn't really reacted to it either, so none of them had challenged him, so it was free to do that, whereas if a player had been coming in and charging, he possibly would have won that.
Yeah, it could have been awkward, because you're going to be off balance taking it over your head like that. Yeah. So, but credit to him, he took it cleanly enough.
Yeah.
He's had the odd edgy moment, like I say, when he hasn't released the ball quite as quickly as maybe he ought to have done, but he's been fine with it.
It's that classic Ed De Hoy that for Chelsea, when he just used to hold on to the ball too much and try and dribble it out of the box. He's not trying to dribble it out of the box, but just sort of not his peripheral vision, not seeing the striker running in, so it's sort of just the striker hasn't got near it, so it hasn't mattered. But just one of those, you close your eyes and think, and then he's not quite. He's got it away.
Yeah, exactly. The league, the live table has a 6th at the moment, by the way. Has Halifax top. So it's only 1 point ahead of us. So, again, were we leading, we'd be the provisional leaders in the team. Mind you, the live table looks a bit crazy. You've got Halifax on 18 points. Then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams on 17 points as things stand at half-time today. So
hopefully it's not that tight at the end of the season when the playoff places are...
if Macclesfield, who are currently 8th, finish equal second and don't get in the playoffs, I think they'll be a little bit unhappy, won't they?
Yeah.
Goodness me. Yeah, so interesting first half. A competitive, physical first half, a game in which there was very little space out there. Interesting to see whether things can turn around in the second half. Now, for a little change during the middle of the half, got a little interview with an ex-Wrexham keeper, Gordon Livesey, who played for Wrexham way back when in the 50s, a time when goalkeeping was very, very different, and indeed football was very different. And so I had a little chat to him for him to talk about his experiences as a keeper, and also about his experiences at the racecourse.
I'm Sean Pearson. Follow Wrexham AFC on Calon FM.
Gordon, you must have some good memories, I suppose, of playing at the racecourse.
Oh, tremendous memories, yeah. Took over from Schofield, I think the guy's name was, when I first played many years ago. So, yes, that was great memories.
There's some good players then as well.
Yeah, we had Harvey Griffiths and Nicky Evans, obviously Eddie May, Ray Smith, and then we got the youngsters, Mickey Thomas and Debbie Smallman, some good youngsters there as well.
Yeah, some real stalwarts there as well. So having someone like Eddie May in front of you must give you a real sense of security, I guess.
It was. It's like me being a little short man. It was little and large, really. But he was a great tribute. You know, he's a good defender and helped me immensely,
And there's also, again, it was like Mickey Evans as well, as, you know, just that solidity as well, a very solid defensive unit.
It was really good. You know, we really had some good ones there. Alan Birmingham as well. And as I say, eventually when they signed Dave Gaskell, who was a tremendous help to me when he first came, because I had no goalkeeping coach, and Dave gave me a lot of coaching as well, and obviously I was in reserves, but basically I learned my goalkeeping from him and went on and felt I got a better goalkeeper as I got older with other clubs, really.
It's interesting because I was going to say that goalkeeping has changed an awful lot from then, and as you say, that the setup of clubs has changed a lot from then. And how would you see it as being different, sir?
I mean, goalkeeping, basically, I find keepers use their feet more than their hands in games. Obviously, in our day, you could pick it up wherever you were. Nowadays, you can't pick back passes up or anything. So that's changed. Clubs, again, you know, obviously, money's ruled it again, really, in all clubs, even at non-league level. You know, they've got to sign players rather than groom their own, which I think is a big thing now with all clubs. They must start to groom their own players, really, and young lads.
And I just think, you know, in terms of equipment, I was a goalkeeper, but not a very good one. I was glad to have nice grippy gloves. But of course, then technology wasn't the same in that respect, was it? You know?
Oh gosh, I can remember when Dave Gaskell first came. He brought these white gloves, and I was confused what they were. And he said, whenever we get short or they get worn out, they're policemen's gloves. We go down to the police station and we get their issues. I couldn't believe it. Now it's rubber suckers, and who knows it? The ball just sticks.
When I'm talking to players in the past as well, like there's a training regime, say, very different. I hear stories of people cheating and training and sort of sneaking back from long-distance runs, you know.
Well, John Neal was manager, and again, I always relate to Dave Gaskell. When he signed Dave, pre-season training was fantastic for me, because we went the first time, we used to run up the Milo Road for the rocks to the training ground. Dave Gaskell said, we don't run. And obviously all the lads looked around, and from then on, we never did any running. We just did goalkeeping work only, and that was brilliant. So I've got to thank Dave for a lot of things.
John Neal must have been a great manager to work under, I'd imagine.
Yeah, he was great. I mean, like all of them, he was a good manager as such. I mean, eventually I temporarily fell out because I felt that I wanted to play first team football, move on, and I always knew that Chester were very interested in me. So it was a shame, really, that I had to move to the local neighbours, and didn't realise the venom between both clubs, obviously, until I moved.
Well, did you ever play against Wrexham in that game?
Yes, once. I can remember playing at Seafield Road. I think that was where the ground was at Chester then, and I can remember it was a game where I had more saliva on my back than I'd ever had at any time, because you were so close to the pitch, the crowd were. But no, there were good times at both clubs in that day.
I'm Christian Nibble, follow Wrexham AFC on Calon FM.
Gordon Livesey, old Wrexham keeper, talking about the sort of things you wouldn't expect to have in the game now, really. Talking about having policeman's gloves, because they were the secret of his goalkeeping success, which
they added the most normal one.
Yeah.
Now every keeper at every level is sponsored by someone who's got their own sort of type of glove.
Well, I remember when I was a little kid, first watching football, being fascinated. I bought Shoot magazine, and Bob Latchford's brother, the Everton striker, was a goalkeeper for Celtic, and there's a poster of him, a full-page poster. And what fascinated me was that he clearly had gardening gloves on, in a really bad condition, but they were plainly gardening gloves. And these were the early days of goalkeeping gloves, and that was.
And not to remember, they're also facing the old leather-style balls, aren't they?
Yeah.
You know, which you wouldn't want to be punching them like the keepers do nowadays. But I know when I first started playing as a youngster in school, I had my dad's old shin pads, which were basically the thinnest of foam, painted red. And he'd worn them in the 60s, and I got them sort of as a hand-me-down in the 80s. And you look at the way things are developed. Football boots, a whole lot. It's a whole industry behind it, isn't it?
I always feel uncomfortable with modern boots because they're so light. I find it hurts to kick the ball more than the more heavy boots I'm used to.
Yeah.
Not that I'm back from the leather football days, I promise you. But those old leather footballs, quite something. And again, it's interesting. You get the impression in punditry in Britain, they talk about expecting the goalkeeper to catch it. They want the goalie to catch it, and they don't like this sort of continental style punching. But let's say talking to old Wrexham players and talking about how the game used to be, they were saying that goalkeepers until like the 50s, 60s would tend to be a lot shorter, and they weren't going to punch it because, well, the idea that you used to be able to cross the ball in, and then if the goalie caught it, the centre forward smashed into him and knocked the ball into the net, that was a goal.
Yeah.
So goalies weren't encouraged to punch, and a name from the 50s for Wrexham, goalkeeper Rolly Ugolini, who brought from Middlesbrough, who played a lot of games for us, was supposed to be a larger-than-life character, and he was supposed to be very small, never tried to catch a ball, just bouncing, punching all the time, and it's strange how fashions change to the extent that seems to be almost forgotten, that's what goalkeepers used to do.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose also as the ball's now lighter, it moves around a lot. So if you go to catch something, you're leaving yourself, you're set for a catch, you're setting your hands on, and when you're punching it, you've got a bit more reaction time and manoeuvre. So perhaps that's a part of it. But my pet hate with goalkeepers, it seems to have died off a little bit now. Certainly a couple of seasons ago, was that palming it back into your area, the save, rather than palming it wide or palming it, tipping it around or just catching it, you just palming it into the danger area, and a lot of goals coming through. So, again, it's different things in different areas go through, but it's interesting to see how things develop and fashion goes. It was very much, like you said, a continental thing in the 90s, a goalkeeper punched it, and British keepers held on to it, and it's evolved into it's the norm to punch it. When you see a keeper that actually comes out and claims it, give him a bit of credit.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm a terrible goalkeeping snob because I used to be a goalkeeper. And when you said about a fashion, I thought, But when you say about pushing the ball back in the goal mouth, I think that is just bad goalkeeping, I would argue, a majority of the time. And I'll say something now that, I'll get into trouble over saying this. Johnston Miyabi did that too much. And in that season when we got lots of points, there were an awful lot of games where people didn't mind he was doing it because we kept winning 4-1. And I remember the number of games we played where we hammered the other side at the racecourse, and we should have kept a clean sheet, but they always got the consolation goal. There would be a consolation goal. They made no difference materially, but so many that we let in because we would make a save and be pushing it back into the goal mouth. You can't always help that.
Sometimes it's just a good save and you're just getting something behind it. But a lot of, it's that sort of parrying it with your hands. Yeah. Why not push it further away? It's just sort of just stopping it and letting it bounce, and then your defender asking your defender to deal with it.
It's when it happens a lot that you think, right, okay, this is a technique flaw. And Miyabi was a goalkeeper who had technical flaws without doubt. He had a lot of ability, and although I was very much in the Maxwell camp in the Maxwell-Miyabi argument, Miyabi had a lot of natural ability, and I don't want to dismiss him at all, but technically he wasn't great, and he did it a lot. Whereas, say, that's Jordan Pickford, for example, who conceded a goal for Everton, if I remember correctly, against Spurs in that manner, but it was a good save. I mean, he just had to get, he did well to get a hand to it. But maybe it happened quite a lot. Teams are going back out, actually Spurs keeper of this season. Hartlepool out as well. Usually Wrexham seems to come out early in the half-time, but maybe Craig Harrison got that idea from Carl Darlington as well then, So both teams are out. The Maxwell Miyabi debate, I was very much a Maxwell man. He was the exact opposite. He was more technique, and he was small and bouncy.
I was a Maxwell fan. I thought I suppose his career's approved.
Exactly right. Well, everybody's out there except the ref. Both sides are ready to roll. The referee finally emerges, having a bit of laugh with the Hartlepool officials. And we're not that far away from getting the second half underway. Wet,
no
it's cold.
So far.
No.
Holroyd dressed
Holroyd. So it looks like
4-3-3.
Interesting. Although I wonder whether Holroyd could be used on the flank as well.
He could be. Yeah, he can play there. Be interesting, because I've been asking for 4-3-3 all season.
So as it is, we're about to get things underway. It's the second half. Wrexham 0, Hartlepool 0.
I'm Paul Rutherford. Follow Wrexham AFC on Calon FM.
The substitute is confirmed. Holroyd is on, and the way they're lining up reads like playing left back in midfield, interestingly. Anyway, away we go. And immediately Hartlepool knock it long. It's dealt with by Carrington, who comes away limping after the challenge from Rodney. Throw it to Hartlepool, level the edge of the area. Carrington looks, I say looks good, but he's still limping a bit. So throw in which Magnay will put in there. Magnay has a short throw offered to him and decides not to use it. Rodney drops off, it's thrown to the corner of the box, held up by Oates, gives it back to Magnay. Ball down the line, Rodney now running at Carrington. He's got an overlap, he pokes in Magnay on the back of the fence. Dangerous, goes right across the face of goal. That was dangerous. To get away with it. Inside the Franks. Wrexham can't stop him swinging across in, but Pearson heads it away comfortably. Put back into the edge of the box. Manny Smith jumps and heads that away. Reed playing on the left side of midfield now. It's poked down the line. And again, it's a dangerous one. Hobbling on the edge of the area. Good, intense start to this match. Preston gives a good early Sean Pearson off to get through, but Hartlepool really on the front foot there.
Yeah, absolutely. They've come out the gates and really tested Wrexham straight away, but that doesn't help with Wrexham obviously having to change of personnel and perhaps a change of shape to settle into the game.
On ball forwards, Featherstone heads it clear. Pearson will start. Rodney will get after him and force him to play it backwards rather than turn. And Preston, struggling to keep that in, scoops it down the flank, throwing to Hartlepool about 35 yards out. So did he put it on his wrong foot then? Is Preston right-footed? I'm trying to think back to the first half. But it was a clumsy clearance by him. Magnay will take the throw-in. A lot further back than he needs to. Throws it into midfield, and it's a heavy return ball because of a pure right pressure. Throw-in goes, Hartlepool's way. It took a long, long time. The referee was right next to the challenge, didn't give anything, just stood, looked at it. And the linesman in the end cracked first and gave it. The linesman was again much further away from the chance. Throw-in taken. It's flicked on. Rodney's after that. Carrington nods it down and wins the loose ball himself. It spins towards the edge of the area. Franks picks it up, works it backwards. Great start to the half this by Hartlepool. Magnay forced to go back to its own half. Featherstone dinks it forward towards the edge of the box. Pearson gets it well, but Wrexham are having to work hard defensively. It's played down the line. Oates tackled by Wright. Another throw into Hartlepool. Level edge of the area, right-hand side. Taken quickly by Woods. Oates hits the goal line. Reed trying to hold him up. Oates swings in a left-footed cross. Pearson pokes it away. Magnay, 25 yards out. Good tackle by Holroyd. Throw in. Wrexham need to break this pattern, don't they? Desperately.
Yeah, they just need to get some control on the ball and just work it up up the field a little bit and give themselves a bit of respite and work into this formation they're playing.
We've had nearly 3 minutes of the half, and Wrexham have only been touching the ball to tackle and clear. They've penned into their own half here, throwing down the line, and Reed flicks it inadvertently backwards. Carrington clears. Wright, though, misses the ball when he tries to hook it away, and so it's still 30 yards out. Magnay, right-hand side, chips towards the edge of the area. Pearson heads it, but only as far as Oates on the flank. Wright tackles him, finds Carrington, who will clear his lines up to the halfway line. Holroyd jumps, flicks it on. Bowden can't get to it, though. It's picked up in midfield by Featherstone, and here come Hartlepool again. The centre-back, Watson, spreads to the left-hand side. Gets it back in his own half. Holroyd comes to him. Watson drives it over the top, headed on by Oates, and it'll drop for Roberts, who smashes it clear. Holroyd in the air, jumps, wins another good header, and that's a throw-in. It's just a drop to Hartlepool, man. It's gone Wrexham's way.
I think it flicked off Holroyd's heading onto the back of that Hartlepool player, but nice to see Holroyd's taking off where he did in the first game and running around and being busy.
He was terrific, wasn't he, in the first half hour until he got injured against Macclesfield on the first day of the season, using his pace then, but here he's won 2 headers already. That one against the centre-back as well. It's thrown in to Holroyd, who brings it down the midfield. He's caught in possession, though. And it's Woods poking it forwards. Roberts gets a foot in. Manny Smith gets tight to his man, wins it back, but Holroyd can't latch onto it. And now here's Hawkins switching to the right-hand side. Rodney has got Magnay on the overlap. He feeds it over the top instead, but Pearson will get there first. He wants it to run behind for the goal kick, and he's tackled, but it's picked up by Wedgbury. Wedgbury and the... Oh, there's stuff going on off the ball there between Oakes and Pearson. They're both back on the pitch now as Reid on the flank beats 2 men. Great burst, and then Bowden wants it over the top. Reid continues running. Oh, it's good cover by Woods to go shoulder to shoulder and muscle him off the ball. And he backheels it against Reid, wanting to get a goal kick, but Reid knocks it back onto him and wins a corner. Good persistence by Reid.
Yeah, good persistence. He sort of, I don't think he was expecting to get through the 2 players of the ball, and that just gave the fullback enough chance to get back with pace and match him to it. But good work and good persistence to get the corner.
So, corner, left-hand side. Rutherford goes across to take it. Wrexham's first chance of the half, really, to get into the Hartlepool half. 51st minutes here on Calon FM. Still 0-0. It's swept in by Rutherford under the bar dangerously, but headed away fell and then cleared from the halfway line up to the half. It's, I tell you what, it was a decent delivery. That keeper couldn't come for it. Carrington stands it up towards the edge of the area. Wedgbury jumps, flicks it on. Manny Smith helps her on a little further. Bowden back to goal, wrestling with the defender, but it's cleared in the end over to the left-hand side. Akil Wright tries to cover, forces a hurried clearance, and Roberts cleverly nods it down. Now then, Pearson dinks it in. There's a bit of space on the edge there as Reid wins a header, but puts it behind Bowden. Bowden fighting, can't get to it, but he forces a poor-headed clearance. Wright, 25 yards out, helps it over to the right-hand side. Not the best pass. Roberts has to stop in his tracks to get to it. Wedgbury switches to the left. Hartlepool penned in for the first time. Carrington asking for width. It's not there. He looks for Reid, doesn't find him. It rolls to Bowden, plays a clever ball in the ground of defence, but Reid is beaten to it by Featherstone. Good cover that by the central midfielder. Clears halfway line. Pearson with a tremendous header. Drops on the edge of the box. Wedgbury flicks it on. Chased by Manny Smith, who stayed up there, but it's hooked clear. It's headed in the air by Pearson, who goes down holding his knee. That's worrying. It's definitely plays on. He stopped playing out. I'm worried about that. I don't like looking at that at all. Pearson looks like he's in real pain.
Yeah, he's not landed well there, has he?
Won a good header, landed on his right leg.
Wrexham were on a nice crest of a wave there with possession.
Yeah, but Pearson there, didn't like that. He immediately was rolling in pain and holding his knee. That does look worrying. The physio's on to look at him. Half his team is standing around him concerned. Pearson and Smith, such a terrific partnership, and Wrexham can't afford to lose it. But he looks in a lot of pain, Pearson, I'm afraid. But he's starting to sit himself up. Yeah, it's getting his right leg flexed. He just landed heavily, didn't he? Came down on 1 foot.
I hope he just sort of locked his knee out and that's all the damage it is, and it's just one of those painful ones that you feel straight away and doesn't do a lot of lasting damage. But he didn't. There's nothing in the challenge in the way he landed, and they're sometimes the most worrying ones.
Yeah.
It's because it is purely on the way you land.
That little spell then, Wrexham kept putting him into the mixer. He just realised, I think he's been desperately trying to find a target man. And that was the point where we needed one, wasn't it, really?
Yeah.
Just to make one of those little balls flicked on into something dangerous.
Yeah, but it's interesting. When the ball came back from the corner originally, and Carrington launched it back in, using the wind, it stopped again. And a couple of times, again into Reid, it happened the same.
Pearson is up. Doesn't look happy. He's walking unaided to the side of the pitch. Gets a consolatory pat from Oakes to play with his jumper. It was certainly not a foul, just the way he landed. And now Wrexham wants to see how he is. Wedgbury for the ones who are going to drop in to fill in at centre-back. But Pearson now is starting to hop up and down as if he's just flexing it, and that looks encouraging. Do a drop ball, looks like a rare contested drop ball, which Reid loses. Carrington tackles well and kicks it against Pearson. Pearson is back on the pitch, and that's a relief for Wrexham. Let's hope he's going to get booked, I think. He wanted permission to come straight back on. No, it's just a telling off, I think. He wanted permission to come back on. Didn't get it, rightly, because the ball's right in front of him. It got hit against him by Carrington. And then...
I think the fourth official nodded at him to go.
Ah, right. But he turned and had to go at the fourth official. The referee's just warned him. Nothing more than that, and Pearson is back on the pitch, admittedly with a bit of drama. Throw-in taken and header a play by Carrington. Well, at least the wind has gone at Hartlepool sails after that early spell.
Yeah, just hopefully that lull doesn't, get Wrexham back to where they were at the beginning of the second half.
55th minute here on Calon FM. Hartlepool United drawing 0-0 here at the racecourse as Magnay lifts it to the edge of the area. Pearson, good strength, that's encouraging. Wins a good header. Bowden jumps and can't get the ball away from Featherstone. When it's played long, Pearson tries to flick it back to Preston, but gets it wrong and puts it behind for the corner. Just didn't quite get his bearings right then, Pearson. And Wrexham will have to watch out for another of these innovative set pieces that Craig Harrison has got his team going. He's manic on the our side of the pitch, telling players to get into position. As Davidex goes across to take an in-swinger with his left foot, and they're doing that bus queue line again, where they've got about, let's say, 5 players standing along the goal line, blocking Preston in. There's only 2 players marked by 2 in the box. It's swung to the near post and hits into the side netting, and the problem is they've done that twice. It looks interesting, but the delivery's been poor each time. He's trying to aim for a very small target at the near post just to get it touched on, and he's not got it right.
Yeah, I can see it working and getting goals at this level, though. I can see it, interesting. Like I said, there's, 12 players on the goal line?
So, I mean, the keeper's got no chance of getting to anything, and haven't blocked him in. What they're trying to do is just drift it into the near post with the tiniest of touch, will send it into the net. Goal kick taken by Preston. Bowden is beaten to it. Good strength by Featherstone. Manny Smith heads it firmly away. Wedgbury, his clearance is charged down. Akeel Wright miscontrols. That was a difficult ball to bring down there. He'd been better off swinging his foot at it. Throw in, which Magnay will take. He steals a few yards. The referee says, no more of that, pal. So it's thrown short to Woods, who's been working very hard in midfield. He floats it forwards. Rodney brings it down the corner of the box, but loses the ball. Reed tries to hook it away and knocks it off Rodney. Throw into Wrexham. It's been since that injury to Pearson, scrappy stuff in this half. Carrington. He's got Reed down the line. Bowden in the second hole throws to Reed, who flicks it on against Rodney and then loses the challenge. Drops loose. Oates to Rodney. He feeds it backwards. Very crowded in there. Hartlepool going further and further back to find space. Then Bowden charges down the clearance. Colroyd can't quite get to it before it's hurriedly hacked away. Through to Wrexham. 30 yards out in their own goal. Left-hand side. Carrington to the halfway line. Reed flicks it on. Takes a touch off at the fed. Through to Wrexham. Just inside the Hartlepool half. Left-hand side. Carrington quickly throws it to Wright, who turns. He's outnumbered, but he goes charging forwards and is shoved to the ground. Free kick in midfield. It was Oates coming back and just dropped on him like a sack of potatoes. Wedgbury fakes the quick free kick and then decides against it. So Carrington will take this. He's got the big men lining up at the far post. Both centre-backs are up. He floats it in towards Manny Smith and Pearson. Manny Smith jumps and can't win it. It's attacked by Wright. He doesn't get there. Ooh, he seemed to go and be stood up, but nothing's given. And here's Rutherford swinging his head across to the far post, and just too much on that. Well, Hartley chasing the referee. He's running away from them. But I thought that was a really poor challenge by Wright on the edge of the area. Ref gave no foul, and Rutherford whipped in a nasty cross, and then 3 Hartlepool players ran at the ref, and he turned and bolted away from them. And then once they calmed down, has come back in to see what happens. But strange from the referee. Now he calls the physio. Yeah, bizarre again. He did it. It's almost exactly the same as he did to the Wrexham player when he was down 4. Really, well, very peculiar that behaviour to run away from them like that. He sprinted away. He didn't want to give a yellow for dissent, I guess, so he ran away from the situation. With that pace, he should be playing up front for us. I think so, yeah. See, this is why I wouldn't be a good ref. I'd be a confrontational ref. If I saw someone coming at me, I'd stand my ground and invite them to push me over, if I'm honest. That was very strange. Anyway, it was a poor challenge, I thought, by Wright. I'm really surprised the foul wasn't given, but Wrexham could have profited. And I do understand why Hartlepool was so angry as the ball's played forwards and Oates is offside. Free kick to Wrexham, level edge of the area, right-hand side. Roberts won a good tackle anyway. And Preston comes up to take it. Still 0-0 here at the racecourse. 59th minute here on Calon FM.
Still not quite settled into this situation. We're sort of a fluid when we attack 3 up front, but when we defend, go back very much to 4-4-2. We're not quite 100% sure what the formation is. Yeah. Certainly, I think Reed is just giving more thrust. We talked before about Smith, tucking inside more as Wrexham win the ball from the goal kick, but Wright tries to find the strikers and can't. But Reed's going to give him a bit more thrust, but thus far he's not got involved in it really. As Magnay lifts a good ball over the top. Rodney, right-hand side, has got a body in the box to aim at. He slings a nasty ball in. Great chance this. It's the bar! What an opportunity that was. Hawkins, I think, who hit it. Good ball in by Rodney behind the lone striker, and it was driven powerfully and hit the bar. Here's Rodney again with a chance to cross. He cuts it inside. That's good skill. Beats his man much too easily. Carrington, Wedgbury tackles well. Corner. But goodness me, Wrexham rode their luck there, didn't they? Absolutely, best chance of the match and should have buried it. Corner, left-hand side. There have been very few chances in this match. Hartlepool have had more than Wrexham. So,
corner right-hand side, and in swinger again from Davidix. This time they're lining 4-5 men up on the edge 6-yard box. They run away from goal, then check back in to lose their men. It's swung to the far post, and Preston does really well. He's palmed it behind for another corner at full stretch, stuck his right arm out and managed to claw it behind. Innovative corner, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. You can see this is going back to that comparison between Darlington and Harrison. They're very much on their set pieces, and you can see the works on their training ground.
Corner left-hand side now, and so Davidix is off set-piece duty. Looks more orthodox, one man on the keeper. It's swung in towards the near post, across everybody. Manny Smith, good diving header clear. Bowden holds it well. He hooks her over his shoulder. There's no one there. Rutherford is sprinting after it like mad. There's no chance of getting there. So is Bowden. He's chasing the back pass. This feels like wasted energy to me because they're neither of the chance of getting there. Keeper hits a long clearance all the way through to Preston. It was Oakes, it was, who hit the bar. I wasn't totally sure, and I was waiting. He had white boots on, and I had to wait for ages to check out who it was. Now I can see.
We're about to see the introduction of Jack McCrae.
Well, that'll be interesting. Very attacking if it's for Rutherford. Maybe Rutherford will switch wings.
And it's that Macclesfield trio up front that from a couple of years ago would be the Bowden, Holroyd and McCrae.
Of course, yeah. But certainly Dean Keats is not settling for a 0-0 here. Throw-in taken. The keel right heads it up in the air, rather. Rodney scrapping the Carrington. Rodney hooks her in. Wrexham complaining about a high boot. Hasn't had a case as well. But it's played into the box, turning Wrexham's defence. Franks wrestling with Manny Smith. It's flicked to the edge of the area, where Oakes has it on the right corner of the box. He feeds it back. Magnay, who's been much more progressive in this half, drills it in. Ricochets off Carrington. Drops loose in the box. This is dangerous. It's fed in. Rodney must score. Good save by Preston. Really good save by Preston. He went the wrong way. Saved with his legs. Now Wrexham on the break. Holroyd feeds it in for Reid, running in behind the defence. But the pass is overhit. No, it's not. 2-2 break. Reid goes on the outside. Hits a shot. Good save. Great save by the keeper. Both goalies in their corner there.
Yeah. Great play by Holroyd there as well. Held on the pass. We thought he'd hit it wrong because Reid just didn't react, but then eventually his base gets there. You know what he's going to do when he gets a shot on goal, and he hit the target and made the keeper work. End to end.
Great strike that by Reid. He drilled it into the bottom left corner, and the keeper got down really well at his near post and just got his hand to it. Pushed it round the post. Tremendous stuff, that. And at the other end, Rodney should have scored. He was all in his own in the box. Drilled it across Preston. Preston dived to his left, it went to his right, but he stuck his foot out and made a good save. Wrexham broke tremendously quickly. Here comes the corner. Swept to the near post, headed away firmly. Wedgbury on the edge of the area, waits for it to bounce, heads it back into the danger area. Hooked on by Pearson. Bowden flicks it on dangerously. Oh, and right, just beaten to it. Manny Smith, beg your pardon. He attacked it 6 yards out. I thought it was going to drop to him, and just the defender managed to stretch and head it there. And this game finally starts to open up. Ball's cleared. Nodded down dangerously. Now Hartlepool on the break left-hand side. Wedgbury comes across. Shoulder charges his man to the ground. Foul's given. The crowd and Wedgbury are livid, although it looked to me like he went across him and barged into him and looked like a foul. Admittedly from the far side of the pitch we are, but...
Well, he's got a yellow card for it.
So Wedgbury goes into the referee's book. But the game suddenly got stretched, didn't they, for the last couple of minutes?
Yeah. It's like it's opened up and finally, and Rex and Hartlepool both pushing too much of their defence forward at times and get caught on the break.
Remember, you can ask us any questions. Hashtag AskWrexham, hashtag ASKWXM. Can't work out when Wrexham finally make this change. It'll be 4 because the fourth official, you can see the number but not the top of it. It was either a 14 for Rutherford or a 19 for Bowden, but you couldn't see whether the line was across the top.
Yeah, I guess Bowden and Reid goes back up top, but yeah. I'm not.
Anyway, free kick to Hartlepool, about 35 yards out, left-hand side. Davidix is on it this time. Wrexham hold the line on the edge of the area. The referee is going to intervene, though, first, because there's been some pushing around on the box.
It'd be very attacking if Rutherford was off, because he's one of your disciplined players.
Pearson and Ledger are being called across by the referee. They were the two shoving each other. And the referee wags his finger. Wrexham need to keep their discipline here. This cold, windy, rainy evening, it's been a real scrap between two decent-looking sides. Here comes the free kick, swept in towards penalty spot. Wedgbury heads it away comfortably. He's done a lot of good breaking up work here. Wrexham wants a foul on the edge, not given. Akio right clears it anyway. Bowden on his own up front jumps and forces a false header from Featherstone, but David Dix is there first, and it's a back bar, so it skips Nastly, the keeper. He has to take it on the chest under his bar and lash it into midfield. Rutherford backpedaling, heads it forwards, nearly found Reed. It just drops loose away from Holroyd as well, who chases diligently across the back line. Magnay drives it over the top, looking for Rodney. Carrington, tight to him, wants it to go behind for the goal kick, and it does. He's always felt a bit of extension, Carrington, dealing of Rodney, isn't he? But he's just about got away with it.
Yeah, I think he knows he's going for pace and power, but Carrington's just got that sort of more, the gamesmanship to know when to tackle and when not to.
Well, it was a 19, not a 14. Bowden comes off. McCrath on the right, Rutherford on the left. Reed goes back up front again. Bowden did a decent enough job, to be fair to him. I got a lot of sympathy for him. But his stint is done, so now it's Holroyd and Reed, sheer pace through the middle. And then McCrath and Rutherford on the flanks and those slouches, so Wrexham on their counter should be quick. Goal kick taken, referee wasn't ready. Preston complains. But he'll have to take it again. And the Hartlepool return is not the best technique. Sliced into the seats behind the corner flag. Preston goes across to retrieve it while turning and still moaning at the referee. Eventually, the ball's got fetched for him.
The referee gets a yellow card for time wasted.
I think maybe he shouldn't he? Absolutely. So, Preston will have another go at that. 66th minute here on Calon FM. It's Wrexham 0, Hartlepool United 0. Real scrap this has been. Preston right-footed. Drills it deep into Hartlepool's half. Flicked on well by Wedgbury. Reed can't quite get to it. Smashed all the way through to Preston. That skips through rather lively manner as well. Preston quickly throws it out of the box and hits it off the floor. Looking in the air for Holroyd. He gets it brilliantly to flick it on. Oh, and foul's given against him. He's got unlucky there. Maybe he did jump into the man a little bit, to be fair, but Holroyd, he's certainly not scared of the physical contact jumping for those balls, is he?
No, he's done well there. He's been lively.
Yeah.
And maybe he's the player that we've been missing. I don't know. Could he be?
Yeah, I mean, we've been talking along about how, well, all season about how we lacked a bit of creativity, a bit of cutting edge, but, you know, we haven't had Holroyd available to us. It means to see what he's like and he can get a run of games under his belt, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
So to keep it, spots it up.
I desperately want to see something out of Jack McCrath as well. I really want to see the ball played to him and him being able to run and use his pace.
He's running at David, so it says the converted fullback has played long, skips away. Rodney won't keep that in. That'll be a throw into Wrexham. As Rodney just, well, boots it into the gap between the two stands, and the Wrexham players and fans are complaining that should be a yellow card. Pearson's going around pleading to anybody who'll listen to him without any success. Carrington will take the throw by the corner flag, thrown down the line. Reed beaten to it in the air by Rodney. It's touched up backwards inaccurately by Oates. Holroyd can't pick the ball up in midfield though, and it's fed back into the Hartlepool half. Watson will go all the way back to his keeper. Loach takes a touch, gives it back to Watson, who's closed down very quickly by McCrath. He lashes it into midfield, flicked on by Woods. Manny Smith heads it back in there. Holroyd jumps, flicks it on. Reed can't get to it. Cleared into midfield. Keel right brings it down. Oh, the passing channel was closed down very quickly by Hawkins, and Wright's under a lot of pressure now, and he manages to find Carrington, who cleverly little flicks an oblique ball to Pearson just to relieve the pressure. He hits a diagonal. McCrest as well to keep it in with his head. Can't find a teammate. Cleared. Wedgbury heads it up in the air. It's bobbling around. Wedgbury will get there again. Hits a ball trying to turn the defence. Chased by Reed. Cleared by Ledger. Hangs in the air in the halfway line. Manny Smith wins a good header off balance. Akeel Wright as well to stretch and poke it on. Can't find Holroyd though, and a Hartlepool can break here. Woods turns in the halfway line, spreads quickly to Rodney, running at Carrington. 3 men at the far post. Rodney's trying to go around the outside to Carrington, who stays on his feet. So left-footed cross comes in across the face of goal and skips behind for the goal kick. Rutherford's maybe part of the thinking of switching the flanks as well, as Rutherford can help Carrington a little bit more, double up.
Yeah, possibly. It's like you said, Rodney's been the thorn in the side, and yeah, he's a big lad and he's causing Carrington problems. He's still dealing with him decently, but certainly the last 10 minutes he started getting a bit more influence and getting crosses in. And a couple of times it's shot through the Wrexham penalty area.
On hashtag Ask Wrexham, Phil Cooper asking what system are we supposed to be playing? 4-4-2, I'd say. Reed and Holroyd up front, Rutherford on the left, McCrath on the right.
Yeah, I think it changed a little bit when the start of the second half, when they didn't really know it's sort of like a 4-3-3 going forward. The 4-4-2 is definitely now back to that rigid 4-4-2.
Yeah, sort of a hybrid, wasn't it, at the start of the half? Although I think Reed's nominal position was on the left-hand side, just trying to support the strike as much as he could, as Wrexham have a throw in on the right. Thrown into the edge of the area and poked over to McCrath. There's a chance to take on his man, and he slings it across to the far post. Rutherford's under that, so he's beaten to it in the air. And it lets him shout the handball on the edge of the box by Rodney. Ref doesn't give it. The bench are a lot more interested than the Wrexham players, it's got to be said. The fans on the bench were going mad, but the Wrexham players were all around it. It was just outside the box, and they didn't ask for it, did they, I don't think?
No.
Keats is incandescent with rage, though, as there's a go at the fourth official. So, thrown down the line by Carrington. Reed beaten to it by Rodney. It bounces beyond Wedgbury and is held up by Oakes. Oakes feeds it into midfield. Woods pokes it forwards and stinked over the top of Wrexham's defence dangerously. Oakes just couldn't quite get away from his man, Pearson, but Manny Smith loses possession. Sloppy ball forwards, which dribbles out of play for the goal kick, and Wrexham will take that. Just a moment of danger there, though, as it's played behind the defence. And that renowned central defensive partnership nearly got caught out. Throw by
trying to do too much.
Exactly. Throw, which Carrington takes down the line. Reed flicks that on well. Holroyd on the chase. That's brought down very well by Featherstone, who's now under pressure midfield. Lays it backwards and sliced out of play by Ledger. Throw to Wrexham. About 15-20 yards short of the halfway line. Carrington will take it. 19 minutes left here on Calon FM. Hartlepool United drawing 0-0 here at Wrexham. Carrington throws down the line. Reed helps it on. Now then, Holroyd can run onto this and find a bit of space in the centre of the pitch. He wants to find the overlap of Roberts. The angle's not quite right, so back to Wedgbury. He drills it over the top, looking for McCarthy. He looks offside. He is offside. Free kick to Hartlepool on the edge of their area. It's been competitive, but goodness me, there's not been many chances, have there? Let's be honest.
No, Wrexham have looked bad, though, with Holroyd on. He's given them the work rate that Bowden puts in, and he still puts it up. He's not a leader. And the pace of Bowden is now.
4,144. Yards down that hand side, Devon Hicks. He always looks at this Calon going, takes it quickly, goes down to the end, it's fast speed, but it comes back out to Woods in midfield. He spreads well, walking out, he's taking on Carrington as well, Carrington slashes a clearance, headed back into the Wrexham half, and helped on towards Carrington, who wants to draw that play. Does. From Wrexham left-hand side. They've got in this team, and it's going to be Rodney coming off.
He's up their most dangerous side, Rex.
Yeah, I would say though that, like I said, the previous game last Saturday, he had very little as he made to look a bit more dangerous by the fact that Carrington got up with confidence, and he got a confidence unbelievable, the ref. He has to belatedly. He seemed to give it when he saw the Holroyd grabbed hold of the centre-back and was wrestling him around in angry retribution.
Yeah.
I mean, it's blatant.
It's again the referee with his peripheral vision. He's watching the ball, not necessarily what's going on.
Yeah.
And he doesn't see the afters or the...
Strange one, isn't it? Yeah, that crowd of 4,144 is the second biggest we've had on the season after that bumper opening day crowd, as Roberts dinks the ball in. Manny Smith climbing, it ricochets around on the edge of the area. It's not clear. Oakes on his own up front. Misjudges the bounce. The heel right cute head around the corner. Now then, Sean Pearson coming back from being in the box. Suddenly finds himself in midfield. Spreads to the right-hand side. Roberts swings a nasty crossing. Good header by Ledger. Plants it as a break. Goes to Wrexham. 20 yards on left-hand side. Carrington runs up to take this. Reed is lurking in an offside position. Just trying to create protection. Holroyd drops to the corner of the box. Carrington is still assessing his options. White is there, Rutherford is there. Smith just gets him pleased and lets it go through to Pearson. Pearson stands up from McGrath, that's the one on. That's well to nod it down. Always done well to get to the 50-50 ball as well. He shows the confidence that they got McGrath for clearing it. Oates beaten to it well by Manny Smith. Wedgbury lunges in and wins a throw with a hard challenge. Knocks the ball off Devanix. I think he's going to give a yellow card to a Hartlepool player. For accumulation of fouls, is he? He pointed to a number of places on the pitch. I think he's going to find a warning to Woods. He pointed to a number of places he's committed fouls and then said, next time you're in the book.
Was he the one that challenged Wedgbury before when they let him play on, I think?
Yeah, when he tried to clip him, didn't he? Yeah. Wedgbury carried on. Throw-in taken. McCrest rather hot to return ball to Roberts, who tries to squeeze it inside to Wedgbury, gives it away, but a heavy touch means Manny Smith can step in. It's cleared, but then Hartlepool smash it back into Wrexham's half. Pearson heads it on. Holroyd in the centre circle. Chests it up in the air, looking for Rutherford, and it's intercepted. Hartlepool poke it down the line. Here's Donaldson laying it backwards, chipped over the top. Too strong, but Pearson will get there first, put under pressure. Oates dispossesses him. Pearson under pressure as Oates swings it near post. Manny Smith at full stretch does well to poke it back out to the flank. Oates to Magnay. His first time cross towards the penalty spot. It's flicked on dangerously. Good defender by Roberts to get there. His shirt is being tugged. Free kick to Wrexham. Franz points at his chest with both of his hands and says, me? Well, we're the width of the pitch and we could see it, so yeah. You.
Definitely there.
Good defending that by Roberts, who's done well at right back, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. He's been more attacking and more progressive as well, and he delivered some crosses, which was probably his a weak point in his first 3 games.
Well, we felt that Torquay, didn't we? When he came on, it looked like he'd had the instruction, you need to push on more, and he did. Preston drills it through the middle, flicked on by Reid, but against Featherstone, and the ball stuck between the two of them for a bit before Hawkins tidies it up and feeds it over to the right-hand side, where Magnay drills it forwards. Pearson is there. Ooh, misjudges the bounce of it, though, and loses possession. Donaldson feeds it backwards. Featherstone looking to find his man. Smith lunges in and is caught. That could have gone either way. I thought Smith had caught his man there, hasn't he?
Yeah, I would have said it was the other way, but Smith was the later player coming to the challenge, but Wrexham will take that, and
yeah, it was
some good pressure in the next 15 minutes. I think we'll see a goal in this game.
Yeah, it has opened up a little bit more. Wrexham have got Natumba Masanka ready to come on as well. So Dean Keith certainly has worked the attacking options in his squad and off his bench. As Preston spots it up. Keats often doesn't make the third substitution, but he's really looking to go for it here. Maybe that Reid, who's not made much of an impression, made the one to make way. Preston launches a long one. Holroyd jumps, but a good header cleared by Watson. Manny Smith does well to launch it back into edge area where Reid flicks it on, and Holroyd can't quite get to it. He was sprinting eagerly after it. Couldn't quite make it. Hacked out for a throw-in to Wrexham. 25 yards out right-hand side. Roberts looking for an early option. Holroyd offers and receives. Brings it down corner of the box. Works it back to Roberts. And Roberts now closed down immediately. Finds McCrath, who knocks off his man for another throw. Hartlepool reckon it came off McCrath. Blinds when a referee said not. Throw-in by Roberts. A clever one. Holroyd skips on the back of the fence and wins a corner. Yeah, he's just alert and lively, Holroyd, isn't he, when the ball's dead?
Yeah, and has that ability to just pass and find and hold it up a little bit, and it's no coincidence that Wrexham have played their better football since he's been on the pitch.
Absolutely. Corner, right-hand side, being away swinger. It's swept in towards the penalty spots and headed away from goal by a right who is backpedaling. It's retrieved by Wedgbury on the left flank, who beats his man skillfully now. Can he put a left foot across and it hits the defender? Spins in the air. Keeper makes a hash of it. It spins behind for a corner, is it? Yeah. Ooh, that was Loach is saying he was fouled, but I just think he misjudged the spinning ball there.
Yeah, definitely.
He punched it down into the ground, if anything.
And I'm not even going to blame the wind, because you can look by the rain, it stopped. It's pretty much just hanging there now.
Corner, left-hand side. Rutherford will take it with his right foot. And Reid and Smith blocking the keeper, everyone else lurking on the edge of the area. Rutherford signals, swings it in to the 6-yard box. It ricochets around, overhead kick goes over. Ambitious effort by Sean Pearson. If he got his first Wrexham goal like that, we put a statue up to him on the cop, wouldn't we?
I think there's one up for Masanka, so I saw Sean Pearson be claimed him.
So Masanka is about to come on and go for the second statue. He scored that wonderful overhead kick last season against Guys, because there are visitors on Saturday. You can hear full commentary of that on Calon FM. Mosanka is coming on, and Reed is going to be subbed for the first time in his Wrexham career. He's found it hard to make an impact today, hasn't he, really?
Yeah, he has. I'm saying against Torquay, although when you get the ball to him, he's done what he wanted. He's had the shots, he's hit the target. But yeah, it's interesting how Mosanka and Holroyd are like. It's the first time, I think we mentioned it at Torquay, it's the first time Dean Keats hasn't had to make a forced substitution.
That's true, yeah. Well, we don't know what Leo Smith might have been injured, though. He got an injury in the first half. But
certainly not one in the first half where you have to change your starting 11.
Absolutely. Ball played long by Roberts, hooked away. Wrexham had a good little spell. Can they keep it going here down the right-hand side? McCarthy skips past one man nicely, but then runs into trouble. Davidix takes it from him comfortably and comes narrow. Hartlepool working around in midfield, switching it over to the right-hand side. It's a good idea by Hawkins. It's a good ball as well. Magnay scampers onto it. Rutherford comes back and holds him up, and the ball into the box is blocked by Wright. But Davidix has carried on his run from left to right, picks it up, and now he's trying to get on the end of a ball into the air. It's a nasty one. Carrington does well to get there and slams it clear. The Hartlepool fans and players are shouting for handball against Carrington. It certainly didn't look it.
I think Carrington looked for the keeper to come, and he never did, so had to deal with it.
He came late, and by then Carrington thought, no, I've got to get rid of him, and slashed it away. Now here come Hartlepool again. Ball spread to the left-hand side by Franks. Hawkins cutting inside. Looks at Woods in some width, but there's nothing there. Magnay's arrived late, so they've stayed on the left-hand side. Hawkins once more, works it backwards. Woods spreads to the left-hand side. Wrexham are penned into the edge of the area. Let Hartlepool passing it around in front of them at the moment. They've worked a crossing out for Davidix now, though, who carries it inside instead to the corner of the box and runs into a tackle from Rutherford. But Hartlepool first to the loose ball. Spread over to the left-hand side. Another chance for a cross. This time for Franks, who decides to take on his man. That's a good tackle, that. Sliding in by Roberts. Throw in 10 yards out. Franks wants to take it quickly. Hasn't got much on the offer, though. So he twice thinks about it and then leaves it in the end for Davidix. 8 minutes left here on Calon FM. Still Wrexham 0, Hartlepool United 0. As the throw is taken, and a good tackle on the edge of the box by Roberts again. Akil Wright feeds it forwards, can't find Mosanka. It's spread to the right-hand side to Magnay. Rutherford sprinting across to hold him up and has forced him to play a back pass. Good attitude that by Rutherford. He's not managed to influence much creatively, but he's put in a good shift again. Long kick by the keeper. Manny Smith beaten to it in the air, but Roberts will run it through to Preston. Oates slow getting up after winning that header against Smith, but he's okay. Throw in taken. Roberts, a throw by the keeper rather. Roberts has it. Drives it long over the top, looking for Holroyd. He flicks it on. Mosanka on the chase here, and Watson gets his head to it, and then, tries to slash it for the throw-in, loses balance and puts it into the corner. So Wrexham, that sloppy defending.
Yeah, absolutely. It's put good pressure. Mosanka's odd shot's a little bit more power. We know his first touch can sometimes be questionable, but by forcing that error, we've got another corner.
Mosanka does those ugly things well, doesn't he?
Yeah.
His presence has won the corner. Rutherford with the away swinger stands it towards the edge of the box. Big crowd in there, but it's headed clear. Wedge for the edge of the box, heads it back in. It's volleyed out, and Carrington is in isolation on the halfway line. Actually, he can't get to it. It's gone all the way through to the keeper, Preston. Preston carries the ball out of the box.
He is right-footed. You're right. Just going back to the earlier point.
Yeah, that bad back pass at the start of the half by Pearson. It's underhit that and headed away easily by Hawkins. Oates tries to touch it on. Manny Smith has trouble dealing with that. Wedgbury does well to tidy that up, and then Carrington over the top looking for the base of the strikers. That's an awkward one, and it's well dealt with by Watson. But McCrath plays it straight in. Holroyd's clearly offside. He's unlucky as he ran back from an offside position, but he clearly was.
Right idea, but no one was expecting it, unfortunately.
He just had no chance to get back, did he? Really, he was volleyed straight back in again. Free kick on the edge of the area. And we're getting into the last knockings of this, nearly into the last 5 minutes as Hartlepool are preparing a second substitution. Still 0-0 here on Calon FM. At least the rain's not as bad as it was, and the wind. At least that's something.
Well, for the walk home,
Yeah. Loach stands it up deep into the Wrexham half. Carrington and Pearson both miss out on that, going for the same ball, but it skips through for a throw to Wrexham. Right by the corner flag, left-hand side. Hartlepool have got Lewis Lang ready to come on. Another big unit. sort of throwing his help. And it's going to be Oates, the striker. He's worked extremely hard, but hasn't really made much impact.
No, him and Manny have had a couple of personal battles, and he's gone about his job manfully. But like I said, he's not really created anything. It's been the wide men for Hartlepool that have done the damage. But
he did hit the bar, of course, the one close thing. But having said that, he should have done better.
Yeah.
He ran onto that and had lots of time, edge of the area, hit it with power, but didn't hit the target. Carrington throws down the line, but Sanka can't get to it, and it's nearly picked up by the substitute, who doesn't control it at the end. It's cleared. Masanka wins a good little flick on. The ball can't get to it. Wedgbury over the top. McCrath is watching the ball as it drops. Oh, it's a lovely take by McCrath, and he spreads to the left-hand side to Rutherford. Rutherford is first, takes him backwards and into trouble though, and he's lost the ball. And now Hartlepool can try and break here down the right-hand side. It's Donaldson. He's got the substitute striker Lang in the middle. He drives to the goal line, swings in a cross, and Pearson drops it and grabs it at the second attempt. It skipped off the wet turf, skipped off his chest, and he managed to dive onto it. That was a nerve-wracking little moment, that, wasn't it?
Yeah, we'll allow him that one from the save earlier.
Well, to be fair to him, good reflexes to get onto it.
Yeah, absolutely.
After spilling it initially. He hits it.
I think Wrexham have been the better team, but Hartlepool have the better chances.
I think that's a fair comment, yeah. Masanka beaten in the air, Wedgbury knocks a long ball forward. Fans don't like that. McCrath was the target. He's not going to win that header. It's cleared. Helped on up in the air by Lang, who then chases his own clearance. Clearly, Bushman is in the back. Free kick in midfield to Wrexham. With time running out, just under 4 minutes left, Wrexham will send the centre-backs up. Wedgbury will leave this for Roberts. Manny Smith's up there. Pearson taking his time. I suspect he's trying to time his arrival so that to evade detection. He's up there now. Roberts will take the free kick on the halfway line. Stands it up towards the edge of the area. Pearson jumps and can't make contact with it. Manny Smith will chase that, but Magnell beats him to it. Feeds it away to the halfway line. Wedgbury is there. Takes a touch. Drills it straight back in, looking for Masanka. Headed away by Ledger. Wedgbury will attack this. There's a beautiful double touch by Lang, and now Donaldson bursts through the middle. He's got a striker ahead of him, and Pearson lunges in and takes him out, and Pearson will be in trouble there with the referee. He knew what he was doing. He's going to get a yellow card. He took him out there, didn't he? He knew exactly what he was doing.
Yeah, that's the one for the team. It's breaking in numbers and had to break that tournament. I think if they'd have let the play go on, I think Donaldson had actually run on offside and the ball wasn't there, but Pearson taking no chances.
Second yellow of the season. As you can imagine, as it's Sean Pearson, he's protesting his innocence, but he knew exactly what he was doing there. He took him out. No two ways about it. So, it's a free kick to Hartlepool, a good distance out, central. He'd be ambitious if he went for the shot, but it's not beyond the realms of possibility.
No, I think for me it's one of those shots you try and get over the top of the wall and skip off the surface and test the keeper, because he's shown a couple of dubious moments, shall we say, nothing dodgy, but
well, he fumbled that last one. Donaldson looks to be the man interest. It's rolled to him and he drills it flat. It's cleared, heads it back in towards the edge of the area where it's helped on by Lang and then helped on again. And Carrington will not get to that loose ball on the flank. It's fed back, chance for Donaldson to cross, swings it in, headed away to the edge of the area, chance for a shot, no good. McCraft does brilliantly to win it. And now Rutherford on the burst. Osu bursting down the right-hand side. Rutherford looks for the pace of McCrath. He's asking too much of him. McCrath lunges in and wins a throw-in with a committed challenge, though. Good burst by those two quick men. Rutherford takes a throw-in quickly, back into midfield to Roberts. Wedgbury round the corner. Rutherford once more, 35 yards out, feeds it down the line. McCrath dummies it and spins us round. Brilliant play. Swings the cross at the near post. Blanca can't get there. It's played out, hits the corner flag and goes for the throw-in. Well, there's McCrath coming to life.
Yeah, that's what you want to see. It's just that dummy, like he's going to take a touch. The defender completely sold, and then the delivery's not quite there, unfortunately.
Brilliant that from McCrath, and good stuff from Rutherford as well in the initial breakaway from the corner. So throw-in Roberts will take. Just over a minute left here on Calon FM. Wrexham 0, Hartlepool United 0. Throw-in taken short. Holroyd brings it down. Wants to play a return ball, but wins another throw-in instead. About 10 yards out, right-hand side. Roberts with the ball in his hands once more. McCrath drops off, gives it back to Roberts. Roberts stands the ball in. Masanka climbs. Oh, he's beaten to it in the air. That was a good header that by Watson. And now a chance for a break as Donaldson plays a ball looking for Lang. Pearson coolly gets there first, finds Carrington. He cuts inside, stands up a diagonal, looking for Holroyd in the area. He jumps and brings it down well on his chest, or his hands. Yep, handball, beg your pardon. Just mistimed his jump. 4 added minutes if he played. And it's been another real scrap. 2 games in a row I've written very little in terms of notes. Editing the highlights won't take me too long, I don't think.
No, but I think if this game goes on for another 10-20 minutes, Wrexham score. Yeah, it's just whether we can do it in the next 4. We're in the ascendancy. We're looking more dangerous at the side.
Pearson is beaten to it by Lang in the air, but the ball's picked up by Carrington, who drills it over the top. Looking for Sanka. He forces Magnay off balance. Magnay complains he was fouled. Featherstone got a loose ball and knocks it long. Pearson heads it clear. Woods cushions it down, but straight to Carrington, who takes a touch in his right foot. He's closed down. Feeds it outside him. Rutherford deep in his own half to Akil right. Cute first-time ball back to Carrington. Left-footed ball over the top. Sanka jumps. Flicks it on. Holroyd can't get to it though. Here's Wedgbury. Drills it forwards. That's a nice idea towards Rutherford. Can he keep that in? No, it just skips away off that wet turf and goes behind for the goal kick. And that's a shame. It was a vicious idea, but always difficult to keep that in, really.
Yeah, right idea, but unfortunate for Rutherford. Again, another workman-like shift in today.
Absolutely. He's certainly put in the miles. Goal kick, which Loach will take. We've had 1 of the added 4 minutes. Yeah, it's been a day of endeavour, hasn't it, really? Lots of players working hard. Long clearance by Loach, can't fault either. Sign for effort. Manny Smith heads it away. It's headed back into the Wrexham half. Smith backpedaling, backed into by Lang. It drops loose. Here's Donaldson now, 30 yards out. Early ball to edge, clever one. Franks chests it down. Hawkins could have turned and shot perhaps, so he finds Deverix in the crossing position, and he takes on McCreth. Stands a high ball up to the far post. That's a poor ball in, but Rutherford's poor header heads it up in the air somewhat, and then can't win the loose ball himself. Wedgbury gets to it though. The Sanka can't get to that loose ball halfway though. Magnay plays a snappy ball and it's good passing by Hartlepool. Knocking it around the edge of the area. Come back out again. Woods to Featherstone. 35 yards out. Wrexham back off a little bit. Featherstone carries on. Drives to the edge of the area. And then, well, I'm not sure if that was a shot or a pass. He pokes it through to the keeper. He took it. Preston runs out of the box. Crowd urging him to hold it. Oh no, it's a clever one. Hold this. He's on Holroyd a little bit of space. He works it back with the Carrington. Early ball looking for Masanka. He jumps, does really well off bounce, take down a Jess and nicks it inside his man nicely. Can't quite take it past him, but Wright is there, and he's with a free kick. 35 yards out. And the centre backs are coming forwards. Pearson, who loves to chip at the ref, doesn't forget to ask for a yellow card on the way. In fact, I think there may be a yellow card for dissent. I
think Hartlepool were in danger of giving a free kick away at any point at that moment because they were just trying to take the man. Masanka was unlucky not to get a foul with his run across the middle.
He did really well, Masanka, didn't he? To hold that up. Watson doesn't get the yellow for dissent, just a telling off. Hartlepool have everyone back defending. This is just too far out for a shot. Rutherford stands on it. Big men lurk on the edge of the area. It's very straight. It's not a great angle for a set piece, this. The 3 minutes of the 4 plays. Rutherford does try the shot. That's easy for the keeper. Well, that was not a great idea, that, really. I mean, whether he was trying to skim it in and hope someone could run across the path of it and get a touch onto it, but it just went harmlessly through to the goalie. We've got a minute of added time left. Long ball by the keeper. Pearson wins a good header. McCreth brings it down the centre circle, but he's tackled by Hawkins. Ball spills loose, but Davidix will get to it first on the halfway line. McCreth forces him backwards, and the referee blows up. So, the final score here at the racecourse is Wrexham 0, Hartlepool United 0.
I'm Neil Smith. Follow Wrexham AFC on Calon FM.
Well, it was a second consecutive goalless draw in a row. A better quality game, though, than the Torquay match. I think that's without question, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. We created more chances, we looked more dangerous, and we asked questions of the defence. I think Holroyd's going to be an interesting one to watch as he regains fitness and hopefully gets some starts, because he offered a lot up front, really. He does what Bowden does, but he does it with the pace across the ground as well. So nice to see that. Yeah, I just think we need just trying to get that foil for him really, or McCreth as well. Got through some football without injury. I want to see more of that. There is suddenly pace in the Wrexham side when we got those players on, and we're still not playing at that full potential we've talked about. But you can start to see little signs of, maybe they could do this or they could do that. And, yeah, let's not get negative on it. Hartlepool off the back of 3 good results. Looking at the games we had, Torquay, Hartlepool, Guiseley, I was optimistic we might get 2 wins out of the 3. It's not going to be the case. Hopefully we can get another 3 points at Guiseley. When we play Guiseley, then 5 points out of the 9 isn't too bad, but we just need to start getting those goals again, because again, a great clean sheet. Nice to see young Preston come in and rode us up a couple of times, but nothing I can, you can't expect from a goalkeeper making his debut at sort of this level, in front of the crowd. But the save he made was the one we needed, so it kept us in it.
Absolutely, 5 clean sheets in a row, first time since March 2016. 4 home clean sheets in a row, first time since March 2016. And the first goalless draw at the racecourse since we played Chester last September. All the stats just are obvious. We've got the best defence in the division. Yeah, we're rock solid, but we still need to look at that injection of creativity, that quality in the box. Is Holroyd liable to be a player who might provide it?
Possibly. I think he works across that front. He works across the front line, but also has the intelligence and touch. He's a mixture of Bowden and Reid, I suppose, is a good description. He's got the pace of Reid. Whether he's the goal scorer out now, I don't know, but certainly in the front two, I don't think I would like to see him as the lone striker up front with the support in. He's either the wide striker or in it too. But he looks like he doesn't mind the aerial challenge. Ran around today, considering he hasn't played since the first game of the season. Obviously, we know it's a shoulder injury, so I'm sure he'll be able to do some stuff in the gym, but you're going to lose your general football fitness, particularly as you've only just literally had half an hour after pre-season. So, I think he'll be an interesting character to watch and one to develop, same as McCreth. You sort of almost forget we've got McCreth, Kelly and Holroyd, but we haven't seen the best out of yet. And there's other players we haven't seen the best out of yet. I thought Wedgbury was fairly solid today. He did what I wanted to see him to do, but very much a crowded midfield again. So I think there's more positive to take away from this tour. I've enjoyed that 0-0 as much as you can enjoy 0-0 that you just want 3 points from. But
Bowden, I mean, all season, and this was the same in a way. You look at him, you like a lot of the things that he does. You feel, he's got something there. He can kick on. He can bring it on further. And then again today, you look at it and you think, he did a lot of nice things. I quite like them. But again, he hasn't managed to kick on and look like that dangerous striker that we hope he will be.
No, he's not. He's not looking like a goal scorer, and that's unfortunate. I know. I'm just wondering about his fitness. Really, I know Carl mentioned it to me at half time. Is he fit? He had a lot of time out of football.
Yeah.
He's not putting the groundwork in. Is he that type of player? I don't know. But when the ball does come to him, he won some great flick-ons. He obviously knows what he's doing. There's a player there.
Yeah.
It's the problem for Wrexham is going to be if we're not scoring goals, you can't persist with a player that's not going to create, a striker that's not looking like he's going to score them. So I can see the rotation round him. Holroyd really, with that's Bowden's had his chance today, which I've been asking him, asking and saying he should have, rather than the Sanka-Reid pairing, which hasn't done us. We've got some results that way. Bowden's had his start. Like you said, there's some nice things. He did some good link-up play, but then Holroyd comes on, does the same type of link-up play, same type of hold-up play, but has the pace and the energy to run round. And I think Holroyd will be knocking on the gaffer's door and saying, "Can I have my start now?" I think I would go that way. Whether it's a Bowden and Holroyd back to the first game of the season, I don't know.
Yeah.
I doubt very much that Keats will drop Reid from the starting lineup just yet.
Absolutely, I think so. I mean, Holroyd's that bugger and Bowden. You just think his record suggests there's more coming. I mean, last season only started 3 games, like I say, in league, 9 games overall. So he lacks matches. He's underdone. Season before, he's got 15 goals in League 2 in all competitions, and then his record in the 3 previous seasons playing in the National League. I mean, he started 75 games and he scored 31 goals. I mean, that suggests there's more goal presence than we're seeing from him, and hopefully when he gets himself properly sharp, we'll be able to see something from him. It's that time, man of the match. Tough decision, I think, really, because again, everyone put in a solid shift. Did anybody lift it above that level, though?
Yeah, well, I think while people were sort of 5 and 6s against Torquay, they were sort of 6 to 7s today.
Yeah.
But again, no standout player. I was thinking this. I'd like to say Holroyd had a great game because I think he influenced the game when he came on. But Carrington, for me, had a great game as well. I think thrust into an unfamiliar position and dealt with Rodney, who, for me, was a thorn in the side to Wrexham, quite, with his size and pace. But generally, the defence done well. But I'm going to go. I don't know. Akil Wright, I think, he was snappy in there and tried to get the ball down and play. And when he did, we did look to benefit from that. He's not just going to try and play the head ball tennis. I think he's a type of midfielder that I like playing. He could easily go for Manny Smith again or Sean Pearson, although I think those two felt the pressure of having an experienced keeper behind them. So I'm going to go with Akil Wright.
Yeah, I agree. The two centre-backs were merely good rather than outstanding, which is the normal situation.
Yeah, and that's why I'm judging him down on because of the previous performances we've seen.
Wright and Wedgbury, I think this is the sort of midfield scrap they quite relish in a way, isn't it? And,
I think it's Wedgbury's best game he's had for us in a crowded midfield area, but we weren't dominating midfield for the first time in a while.
And as well, maybe a mention of Roberts, who's come back into the side, and I think has maybe stepped her up a bit. But I think throughout, I think even when at the start of the season when he lost his place, he still looked a solid defensive fullback, doesn't he? And he remains so. Yeah,
absolutely. He's had that wake-up call of James Hurst coming in, taking his side, and the reason is because he's not attacking. We've seen a bit of him Torquay and a bit today that he's come on and shown he can. There's a player there who got a lot of assists for Halifax, so he's obviously can be an attacking threat. Yeah. We just haven't seen it yet, but yeah, he doesn't look out of place in that defence.
Absolutely. So a gritty 0-0 draw for Wrexham. 2 0-0s in a row. Patterns forming here. Like I said, we have got our best defence, the best defence in the division as well, but just that little bit of creativity is what Wrexham need to do. We did ride our luck a little bit, that shot that struck the bar from Oates in the 58th minute, but apart from that, it really was a game of very few opportunities, a tight tussle. Don't forget, we'll have live commentary next Saturday as Wrexham are at home to Guiseley with the final score of Wrexham 0, Hartlepool United 0. I'll hand back to the studio.
Uniting our community on 105 FM, Calon FM.
Can we pretend that airplanes in the night sky like shooting stars? I could really use a wish right now, wish right now, wish right now. Can we pretend that airplanes in the night sky like shooting stars? I could really use a wish right now, wish right now, wish right now.
Yeah, I could use a dream or a genie or a wish to go back to a place much simpler than this. Cause after all the partying and smashing and crashing, and all the glitz and the glam and the fashion, and all the pandemonium and all the madness, there comes a time where you fade to the blackness. And when you're staring at that phone in your lap, and you hoping but them people never call you back. But that's just how the story unfolds. You get another hand soon after you fold. And when your plans unravel in the sand, what would you wish if you had one chance? So airplane, sorry I'm late. I'm on my way, so don't close that gate. If I don't make that, then I switch my flight, and I'll be right back at it by the end of the night.
Right now, wish right now, wish right now. Can we pretend that airplanes in the night sky like shooting stars? I can really use a wish right now, wish right now, wish right now.
Yeah, somebody take me back to the days